na emu nyina wuwu a daakye ye beye den ye nchimbande no beye ende hwe sadibo sadibo a utimi nko aize kokra so a duty o kan nka nyama bebre na koso o mema hadwe ya asefem wonka sa hwe se na mo ibre hwe amanone a se na ye hu enuma ne we omukrapo se na treat omo ho se na ye treat ye mo sa na ye treat ye ho o man we mu yaw na edi nipa fem sa so na ye mo a fem obia complain yaw nko a aden na ye ti o man mu na nkasa ye di ye ho boni sen on faso o sika kra obenyanti on dwen ochina ho on dwen de onya benya ochina ho na on dwen ochina no on nim za wo ba aden hwe o de woni gi se wo ye sen o woni gi nanso ochina no eni je bi me de bia one pe yesu nya ya se no ye se nsu yi ayi se kokra ba akokra nsu a obesi de nya nsu a ya se nsu nyina etwa ekoko nyina egu ye body etwa nyina egu se Galamsey nti ye se bibia o man we mu o kan na de se hu de onya kokra eye ya o man mu eni je bia ni de bia utu oni a oni nto bibia nim hwe natural resources na kopɔ de ma yen pa wa hye nsu hwe na modugu ma yen Pangasa hwe uteze ohwa na ya asefum ohwa ya asefum ya hwe okoba ne kita nam de nam na kita nam na ebre no hwe en de se nam ne bre teze onu no ma tosu ndi on drink hwe onu ma tosu en no no china so o chana wa akokwa no benya nam ibi awebiem a mo hwem emo nyina ase adan hwe obre
na abusuafo mo wona epo ne kala na ye na epupa mo na ne kala ye Galamsey na mo ye ne kan wasem na mo ntie no mo help ne kala epu na ye brown no sumo epu na ye brown no Galamsey na mo ye ne kan na mo ntie no mo he epu no na ye brown no mo help no epupa ni epu na ye brown no epu na ya brown kuma e kana muntie no Galamsey na mo ye ne ye kana muntie no epu na ya brown no ye kwa kwachire mu bebi a pra ene eyi ne bom no pra ne epu ne bom chali ye kwachire bebi a pra ne epu ne bom no o sta epu na ya brown
Right, so Mahamadu Bawumia.
Abusuafo mo wona epo ne kala na ye na. Epo pa mo na ne kala ye. Galamsey na mo ye ne kan wasem na mo ntie no mo he epo ne kala. Epo na ye brown no. Sumo epo na ye brown no. Galamsey na mo ye ne kan na mo ntie no mo he epo no na ye brown no. Mo help no epupa ni epu na ya brown no epu na ya brown no kuma e kana muntie no Galamsey na mo ye ne kana muntie no epu na ya brown no ye kwa kwachire mu bebi a pra ene eyi ne bom no pra ne epu ne bom Charlie. The question may be a prani upon the boom, no? What's that? Upon Aya Brown.
Right, so Mahamadu Bawumia.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
That I will bear true faith.
That I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the Republic of Ghana
and allegiance to the Republic of Ghana
as by law established.
As by law established.
That I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of Ghana.
That I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of Ghana.
and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
The Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
So help me God.
So help me God.
State coffers are not spoiled for the party that wins an election, but resources for the country's social and economic development. I shall protect the public purse by insisting on value for money in all transactions. Public service is just that, service and not an avenue for making money. Money is to be made in the private sector, not the public, and measures will be put in place to ensure this. We must create wealth and restore happiness to our nation. We can only do this when we have an educated and skilled population that is capable of competing in the global economy. We must expand our horizons and embrace science and technology as critical tools for our development. We believe that the business of government is to govern. Ours is to set fair rules. We will provide vision and direction and shine the light down the path of our entrepreneurs and farmers.
Yeche onyankopon kura wobo asase no anaju woda na hwan na ka kire wo se onyankopon ade sa woda nanka onyankopon sebe nka woda ade sa ka wanya wo ho bebia na ogina no na watimi aka se ade sa nyankopon na wobo asase no woda. Jama'a maganganun da ke faruwa da su Allah ke kama mu, wallahi da su Allah ke kama mu. Allah ya gaya mana onyankupo na kachirayen ewa ciro kurun Qur'anu mu. Wasi Allahu la ilaha illa huwal hayyul qayyum la ta'khudhuhu sinatun wala nawm له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. الله أكبر. من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه. الله أن ينكبون لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. nyankopo akase wono wonda na wo wa begina akase onyankopo na wo bo asase wiase no kora woda
of the Pra River. And what you can see there are chamfines. So there they are, lined up along the river as usual. And based on the testimony of a man who lives in this community, he says they're all involved in Galamsey, which is why they're lined up along the Pra. So this is the current state of the Pra. And I just crossed the road just to get a closer view of the Pra on this side as well. I mean, for those of you who probably live around here or usually use this route, you'd understand. This is it.
The Bultre River runs through the Ahanta West municipality as well as the Mpoho and the Wasa East district in the western region. The river is the major source of water for residents of Ewusejo, Freti, Otopo, and other communities close by. Residents say the water was clean and clear before the river was taken over by Galamsey activities.
Base 85 years now quite important suma the two there Ukraine wouldn't soon. Yeah, one number will soon consume the Damanam no Dambu and that is night. Bibasa into Mumusunu.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. Inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, a very good morning to you and you're welcome to the program. It's the 11th of September 2024 and this is Good Morning Ghana. We thank Almighty for giving us yet another day to go through the matters of the country, and we'll give you the headlines of the newspaper starting with the daily graphic, and it says strategic local development policy out. Document aims to drive sustainable economic growth. Lawyer shortage hits legal aid. Deal with errant election officials. Afarijan. Ghanaian Times. At local government decentralization and rural development initiative, Greater Accra Minister fumes at 29 MMDCEs, queries them over failure to attend local economic development launch. Galamsey menace, pressure mounts on government to combat illegal mining as Asante Hene, UTAC, GBA add voice to prompt action. Third cohort media capacity enhancement program begins in Accra. MHA records 83 suicide deaths, 543 attempted cases half year. Daily Guide. NPP's road infrastructure feet unmatched as Senso Boache, 4 arrested over Oyarifa violent attack. Mahama incites NDC against EC. Minister launches revised lead policy. Michael Kwei Jr. files parliamentary forms. Laraba Zurera withdraws from NPP Wale Wale primary. The New Crusading Guide, Development Economists' Verdict on NPP Policy Document. Baumia's manifesto drives economic growth, simplifies tax system. Media capacity enhancement program underway as UNIMAC. Information Minister charges petitioners to honesty and dedication to truth. Sianwe Japan leads Jospon Group in strengthening China-African relations at Beijing. Acquiring party card made easier as NPP launches new vending system. Led policy to empower and create jobs to boost Ghana's growth. Minister. Minus man Duka gets new task. Ecosoil Ghana coastal sanitation efforts pay off. The insight. Ex-soldier Akatapori warns EC over potential breach of voters' personal data. And yesterday we read that statement, or his statement he released on the platform. We read it here. I'm sure you got excerpts of it. Rawlings, Sankara, and Gaddafi honored. African Electoral Institute backs calls for 2024 voters register to be subjected to forensic audit. Achim Esum youth in Eastern Region storm Galamsey site halt their activities. Ashaman residents lament poor conditions of road, drain network, sanitation challenges others. The Herald newspaper, NDC copies MPPs Let My Vote Count demo for voters register audit. Akufo-Addo ignores deadly Galamsey pandemic at lawyers conference to fight corruption tag on himself family. Afenyo Markin targets 80% votes in a Futu ahead of 2024 parliamentary elections. Ye and Agric Ministry distribute 100,000 starter packs to empower youth in farming. Imani projects $1 billion for Ghana's economy through salt mining, cites Electrichem. Highlights of NDC and MPP manifesto on education. The Informer. Our national organizer is missing, MPP cries out. Oh, how? Election 2024 eschewment trust for EC, Otunfo appeals to political parties. Fighting Galamsey head-on will cause unemployment, reduce export earnings, Mahama. Towards improving prosecution, pass criminal offences bill now. AG urges Parliament. Well, in this issue, Renewed Galamsey fight, deal with big fishes, GBA tells government. The Daily Statesman, Abu Jinapo NPP needs a united front. Information Minister opens third MCEP. Government saved 15 trillion CD judgment debts. Government saved 15 trillion Ghana cedis judgment debts. Asenso Boache touts government records on roads. MP withdraws from Wale NPP primary. And the big one says more jobs in the offing. Government launches new policy to empower local economies. The Daily Searchlight. Sinking the economy part 11 of clearing agency admits tax fraud, but says it is paying back after it was caught by customs. Galamseyers are Ghanaians. We won't shoot to kill them, Napo. Jospon Group showcased diverse interests and investments at China Africa Summit 2024. Occupy Ghana at repeats urgent call to halt illegal gold mining in Ghana. Dr. Iduchum files to contest as Member of Parliament for Bosonche. Prem Park condemns rallies members to support efforts to halt the menace. The Ghanaian publisher FIDIC 2024 investments in roads key to poverty reduction. Asenso Boache. Democracy flourishes with well-informed media. That's Information Minister. Agric Ministry empower youth in farming with tools, equipment. Jospon Group showcases diverse interest at China Africa Summit. The Accra Times. Kofi Bensel declares, Babing is my favorite speaker. 2024 elections is about Ghana, not NDC or NPP Babing. Parliament confirms Electoral concession. Ghana to rake $75 million from investment. Speaker directs committee to mediate between company and locals. The top right corner has Baumia bold solutions failed to address Wale NPP impasse. The custodian. Expanding public infrastructure. NPP offers new funding module. Jospon Boss graces China Africa Summit. Information Minister lost media role in nation building. Mahama condemns DRIP initiative. Baumia will make history for NPP. Gideon Boako. Abu Jinapo calls for NPP's unity to win 2024 polls. Daily Post. NDC Youth Wing celebrates the National Vice Chairman of the Youth Working Committee, Dr. Kweku Dunketia, on conferment of PhD. We're just playing with fire, said Bobbing, as he accuses government of preventing EC from being a free referee. 2024 elections, we don't want to see military moving around, Bobbing. NDC informs police of nationwide demo on September 7. Business and Financial Times. The impact of fintech on economic growth. And then random thoughts of a rural farmer. And that is in the feature. But the story is on the front page. It says that in trade, Jospon Boss leads delegation to strengthen China-Africa relation. GSE fixed income market sees 236% YOY group in August as equity rally cools down. Dry spell affects 60% of farms in northern region. Institutional neglect negating affordable housing blueprint. And that's in the housing story captured. Right, that's what we have for you for the front pages. Let's take a break. We'll be back shortly.
Pascal is showing his boss the efficient new technology they've installed. She's pleased. But now she's asking, why is that still there? Pascal explains the new fleet-finding darts are more accurate than the old ones. The boss is not so pleased anymore. If you haven't automated your fleet management yet, it's time to get business done better with MTN Business.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh bread.
I'm a fair missy way.
Prepare bantama.
Machasi.
That's a cycle.
It's her smile. The fresh breath.
Me, Jidi said we used to Cal 360 toothpaste. Some kind. Cal 360 toothpaste.
That's Kia. Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector. Onim jom kasa.
Ile kosen. Cal 360 better way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
You will so feeling when you know Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Cal, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
In today's modern world, stairs are a challenge, especially for our elderly and those with health concerns. Navigating them can be difficult and even dangerous, but there's a safer way to move vertically. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, your answer to a more accessible and secure vertical transportation. Our elevators and escalators, including top-of-the-line pneumatic vacuum elevators, Fuji elevators and escalators, offer a safer and more convenient alternative, eliminating the risks of stairs and enhancing accessibility for homes, businesses, and hospitals. Choose safety and convenience with Lifts and Elevators Limited Company. Elevate your spaces today. For more information, visit our website at www.elevatorsgh.org or call now on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, the elevator people.
Customer, I don't know who to say.
Malaria been actually me, man. No, man, still.
One of them give us.
Give us a solid.
Yeah, sorry. What rest of so give us here and turn down.
What's over that song? But for me to give us the and turn down.
Give us a bad message.
Me patron the and turn down.
Customer. Give us that turn down. Back.
Onuya kayo oba wa fa furo nom de o ma no banu fo nom akwada wa ni fie dumie no ono nso nom.
Krachi, unemu bua unkohwe Dr. Ban uye den wa.
Oh, me say ya fa no ko ma mi buru wa.
Ayi ma mi do buru. No ni atele be ko. Bra, mu mi fa no ko Dr. Ban ho.
Dr. Ban o ya de.
Bra, se pa no nompemu adwuma sasabro sro Dr. Ban o ye.
Sai ni kemi kwa na meka. Oh, nompemu nimdi ono na ye expert nya zanfo no. O akra eni kumasi nompemu expert yen kan kire wo.
Hello, my name is Roland Walker. I'm here at Coastal Park. It's one of the many courts belonging to estate masters, and they are into service plots, property management, and luxury homes. And just in case you want to make that decision to invest into a landed property, estate masters is the right choice to make. If it is from an indenture, a site plan, you want it also barcoded, all is available. You might have heard about Chopoli. It's where we have the next cottage of estate masters. It is not only one of the thriving, but the most inviting landed property site for you also to invest in. We encourage you, do invest in the next cottage at Chocoli. It is just close to the yet to be demarcated airport. That also will be a valuable property for you to invest in.
Now let me tell you why you should choose Safari Valley as your conference destination.
The new conference building combines modern amenities with the tranquility of nature, providing the perfect backdrop for your next seminar and corporate retreat.
The only conference destination with so many activities, you don't have to travel to visit your tennis club, the gym, or the stables. They have it all.
Enjoy this rooftop viewing deck, basking in the sunlight with the sight of wild animals roaming freely in their natural habitat.
At my break, I'm heading to practice my putting.
It's a unique experience that sparks creativity and rejuvenates the mind.
Visit Safari Valley Eco Resort in Ghana, bringing you closer to nature.
Choose the perfect prize every week and stand to win your choice of exciting prizes. All to get more of what matters to you. Exclusive to Betway. Betway, get way more. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18.
You're the answer to my prayer. You're with me everywhere. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need tonight. Give me shelter from the rain. You breathe life in me again. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need to know tonight.
The luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Luckiest everywhere.
8K. Hey, you get an 8K. Get packing from your book, man. Wallah. Hey, wait.
You can put it on his tab. This is my man.
Good luck. Hey, go build radio. We have star 712 hash. It's much more phone. I'm on dialing the magic numbers. Star 712 hash. Now welcome to the luckiest. Aha, and now with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved one.
Ah, mommy, tell mommy who's here.
You're buying for me, right?
Or who else?
Oh.
Let's choose buy tickets for others.
Love you, boo boo.
Maybe straight to option 4. Now we tell you need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or preferred tickets. I'm choosing random ticket. That's it. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5.
Baby, give me your 5 numbers.
And how much are we buying?
Babe, look at the body and buy you.
With your body,
Hey,
never. Tread cautiously. Now follow the prompts and confirm. Now the luckiest.
The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. T&Cs apply.
All right, you're welcome back to the program. And I already have Erica Makuchum with us, government spokesperson and also a member of the Baumia campaign team. It's been a busy week for you, right? Good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Well, we're expecting former Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Inauguration, who will join us pretty shortly. Let me remind you that it's been an awesome journey with MTN Momo, and it says that for 15 years of ease and convenience, it is definitely worth celebrating. That's why Momo at 15 rewards here with amazing cash prices just to say thank you. Send money to MTN Momo user or make payments at MTN Momo merchant at no cost whatsoever, only on MTN. So go on, download the Momo app. That's My Momo on App Store or Play Store and enjoy this. Just Momo it everywhere you go. Terms and conditions apply. So take note. Kel 360 toothpaste is also available on the market and ready to feed your whole family. Take care of the whole family in your dental situation. It's approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Kel 360 toothpaste provides you and your family with an all-round dental protection throughout the day and also with freshness. Kel 360 toothpaste is good for kids, children, and adults. Let your family be proud when they step out constantly by using Kel 360 toothpaste. It prevents it brightens your teeth, prevents cavity, and also it gives you cool mint that gives you fresh breath throughout the daily's activities. Consistently, you have to use a Kel 360 toothpaste. It's a product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasso, and it's available on all malls markets across the country. Contact them for bulk purchase on 0246 864798. Kel 360 toothpaste, happy smile. So, lift and elevators also saying if you are enjoying the fruits of your labor, is as important as enjoying the mansions of your labor. So the pains of climbing your stairs is over since the lift and elevator services is still available. Comes on the market with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators and also simple and self-supported elevator for both homes and offices. And guess what? It can lift your goods as well. Wheelchairs can be fitted in, and it comes in 3 custom-made modules. And in 3 days, it can also be fitted for you. So it can be installed within 3 days. If you want it, please, you can contact them and they will help you. Lift and elevators is at Sakumono. Call them on 0200-535-515, or you can send them an email on elevators@gmail.com for consultations and your easy vertical movements. Eric, you're welcome once again.
Thank you.
Right. So let's deal with the MPP as we wait for Inauguration. It's been a week of submission of forms. Dr. Baumia visiting the party faithfuls, the party office, Wale Wale and its ups and downs. Well, we have Madame Zuera actually pulling out, right? So the letter actually given to us by Member of Parliament for the Wale Wale constituency, it reads that following the inconclusive rerun of parliamentary primary in Wale Wale constituency yesterday, with the Electoral Commission unable to declare the results of an unfortunate incident, I have decided, in the interest of greater good of the new patriotic party and peace and unity in Wale Wale constituency, I will no longer be a candidate for the MP in 2024 elections. I'm therefore formally withdrawing from the contest. I would like to thank the party for the honor done me in representing my constituency over the last 4 years, and can assure the party of my continued support in 2024 election campaign. Yours sincerely signed, Honorable Lareba Zurira Abudu, Wale Wale constituency MP. That's what you see on your screen.
Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity once again. For me, I'll say that is commendable from the Member of Parliament. This particular issue has been raging for a while. I think I actually even went to court. And after the decision was made for a rerun, the rerun was also inconclusive because of certain incidents that happened. Now, I believe that she would be remembered by the party in terms of making sure that we do not go into
a contest without a candidate or with all the little issues that happened during the first primary. So, yes, I mean, when it comes to elections, when you lose an election, it's quite difficult to take. I mean, and of course, any election is very difficult to even undertake to start with, and the stakes are always high. And so to have a sitting member of parliament actually go through a process where she would say she had certain issues with, and now deciding that for the good of the party and for peace and tranquility to prevail, she was actually withdrawing her candidature. I think that is commendable. And you know, these things happen at the time that's happening. You might feel that you've lost, but I think in due time she would actually be rewarded for making sure that these things dealt with, and then it's come to a certain conclusion. And we should just commend the Honourable Member of Parliament. Elections are very difficult things. I mean, I've been in a couple of elections, and losing an election is not an easy thing. And for anybody to have that level of courage and conviction to say that, listen, even though I have certain issues, and those things were actually brought to the public domain, I still feel that even as it's gone to court and the court made a decision and there was a rerun, I believe that for the greater good of the country and the party, let's allow peace to prevail. I think that is a good thing, to be honest with you.
First of all, I think that for the fact that she's a lady or she's a woman, normally we are at the disadvantaged in the kind of society we find ourselves. We are at the disadvantage, so we expect that we'll be giving some preferential treatment. Sometimes, you know, we want to be noticed and be supported largely, and so it's hard for us to take certain decisions. So it's really commendable that she decided to take this path, even as a woman. I appreciate that.
I'm not too sure about the preferential treatment. Definitely, there's a need for some.
Sometimes there's just
no, but there's a need for
believe that we are bullied.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. There's a need for affirmative action when it comes to representation in Parliament and other public offices and all of that. And even if you look at the two major political parties when it comes to manifesto and all of that, it makes mention of that, and I believe in that. I also believe that usually when you want to do these things, you do it well ahead of time. And I've always maintained that you can have these things done, and everybody who is a stakeholder within that particular constituency would understand. What tends to happen for me is that once you allow the process to start, and people are not aware of the fact that it's imperative that we have women representation, and you allow the process to start and people go through, galvanizing for votes and mobilizing and looking for resources and all of that, and then it gets to a few weeks to elections or close to elections, then it's difficult to do that. But even for us as a political party, if we have a certain quota system and say that these numbers are definitely going to go to women or even people who are physically challenged, so that you have a certain sense of equity across when it comes to representation. It's something that is commendable. It's done everywhere. And so for me, I think that we also sometimes underestimate the strength of our women politicians. Some of them have won elections on their own strength. Mm-hmm. You understand? Mm-hmm. And sometimes I feel that it might even be a bit demeaning to create the impression that you have to lower
yourself,
the bar or whatever for them, because we have very strong, I don't want to mention it, but we have very strong women representation even across the various political
that always
parties.
Advise women that the moment you decide to go into a space that is a male-dominated, just be ready to face the missiles just as the men. It's really not a space where, like you said, they will lower bars of what either negative or positive activities because a woman has joined. It's as murky as anything. So you better prepare.
Yeah, but so I mean, I agree with you. That's commendable because a lot of people, it's very difficult to accept losing an election, and especially when the stakes are so high. Someone who is representing a constituency, as a member of MP, as a certain MP, and all that. So, but again, that is the sacrifices that sometimes you have to make for the society that you are actually pushing to lead, and even the political party that you join. But like I'm saying, I know for a fact that there's an act that will not go unrecognized. You understand? Yeah. It's happened. There's so many examples of that.
How did the Baumia campaign team deal with it? Because, I mean, obviously, because of her relation with the vice president, people had their own interpretations and put their own twists to it. In fact, on the front page of Accra Times, it says Baumia's bold solutions failed to address Wale NPP impasse.
No, but that's ridiculous to start with. I mean, the process is activated by the political party, that's an MPP. You go through a primary process. It doesn't allow anybody to be protected. And so what it means is that if you're a sitting member of parliament and it comes to primaries, anybody that has the capacity to and is eligible to is able to contest. They went into an election, and it's very clear that if you're going by even this ridiculous headline, it's very clear that the vice president, who is the flag bearer, actually stayed out of the
race,
the competition, because the two protagonists, the gentleman KB Mahama, is actually someone who works with the vice president. You understand what I'm saying? So it tells you clearly that this is a man that decides that, listen, these are two people. And it's politics. The stakes are high. People are ambitious. You can't sort of use any crude tactics to stop people from trying to achieve a certain ambition to represent their own people. That's exactly what the vice president has done. So even all the turn of events is actually a clear indication of someone who has allowed the process to take its course, and that's exactly what has happened. What I think really is that, again, usually some of these consensus building and all of that should be done well ahead of time. You understand? I have my own views when it comes to even primaries. I have contested a couple of times, but the reality is that I think that we over compete, we over do these things, right? Where it is not the case that every single 4 years some primary should be activated. That's not what pertains in proper, like in other democratic jurisdictions, right? So you can even have a system that would activate a primary. For example, I don't really believe in this whole idea of first-time members of parliament being contested, or especially someone who has gone into an area that is a marginal seat and has been able to win it for the very first time. And the next election, somebody is contesting them, right? But there are other methods of actually activating a primary. For example, you're in, let's say, a stronghold, and there's a certain threshold that you're not supposed to fall below. So, for example, you're in a stronghold where you're basically hovering around 70%, 75%, and after 2 or 3 election cycles, you drop to 52, 53, 54%, even though you won the election. In other, just like in the UK and other places, that activates...
That's considered.
It's considered that, no, we need to relook. And even that, it goes through a primary process. And the candidate, the incumbent candidate, still gets an opportunity to convince the electorate or the delegate that I'm still the person to lead. To consider, right? So that it is not... You over-democratize the process. You understand? Those are very controversial views, but I believe strongly that. So even when it comes to, let's say, this whole conversation around
I want to believe that's the reason why we're having to criticize our democracy that we're practicing here so much, because of some of these factors.
Yeah, because even when it comes to the female representation, I believe that in certain places when you want to do affirmative action, maybe you should allow other females to contest, but you would convince the male interest that, listen, in this case, because we have a stronghold, we will definitely win. Let's ensure that we also engender affirmative action and female representation. But if another female decides that they want to contest in that particular, we can do that conventionally, right, at the party level. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, whatever you do constitutionally has to be consistent with the national constitution that we have. But I believe that we can have all of these arrangements. But it has to be done well ahead of time so that people understand. So, okay, yeah, you're interested in going to parliament, but we also have a certain social contract with the people of Ghana that want to allow 30%, 35%, whatever percentage that for female representation. So it is not only through parliament that you can play a role either in government or to represent the people. So as a political party or a government, we would ensure that you still get an opportunity to do that. You can have those conversations. But then it has to be done well ahead of time, right? Because what tends to happen as well, even for us as politicians, is that once you express an interest or an indication to contest an election, you have local support, people are supporting you. It creates some kind of schism or friction at the local level. Immediately after having all this support, then you come out and say that, oh, I'm not contesting again. What you have done is that you have actually exposed the people who are your supporters to some level of marginalization, right? So that's why sometimes people are adamant that I would still go on and contest.
So at this point, because it's possible she may have done the same.
No, but you understand what I'm saying? Because what happens is that even on the level of the candidates, they can actually be matured enough about it and allow the things that have happened to pass. But the people, the supporters, people are fanatical, right, are unable to reconcile. And it's happened in so many different spaces. So that's why I'm saying that, yes, we can have all of these conversations, but it has to be done well ahead of time. And you can never underestimate the importance of having female representation when it comes to
now, two things with primaries, political party primaries. What is the difficulty of accounting for votes that have been casted or that have been cast? If you have, maybe the Electoral Commission knows the number of ballot papers it presents in a particular constituency. Once the votes are cast, you know that these are the number of votes that were cast, these are the sports ballots, these are the valid votes. You should know your math. I mean, it's that simple. I don't know where the confusion comes from, where it extends all the way to courts. And then, secondly, why are we still fighting with ballot box snatching today? Because it's a situation that people are preempting that this is just a microcosm of what's to be expected
for anybody to
in the 2024 elections.
Pick up a ballot box is unacceptable. It's actually flies in the face of the whole, if you like, tenets of democracy, because that is the fundamental principle. And so for me, I will not countenance that. But like I'm saying, I mean, if you're being very truthful to ourselves, the stakes at that particular level is extremely high. People become very fanatical. I'm using the word fanatical, where there's a certain level of over-exuberance, which is not even exhibited by the person who is even contesting. You understand?
Yeah.
And so it happens. I mean, primaries across the two major political parties ends up in fisticuffs and everything in some places. I mean, if you do, let's say 275, 276 primaries, you would have maybe pockets of issues in certain places. So by and large, we've gone beyond that. But even if it happens once, it's still not acceptable, right? What I really think is that when the margins are very close, where it's a very closed contest, where one candidate wins by 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 votes, it's a lot more difficult to accept, right? But if you go into an election, maybe there are 800 delegates, somebody wins by 600 and stuff. I mean, it's very difficult to contest that. You understand what I'm saying? So even right after those elections, I believe that the reconciliation aspect of it should be taken a bit more seriously. Because then what tends to happen is that it means that the constituency or the region or whatever jurisdiction that is split right in the middle. You understand what I'm saying? And it becomes very contentious if the two main protagonists are not people who will be able to tell their people that, listen, it's one political party, let's bring our people together, let's prosecute an agenda. We are not supposed to be enemies, we have an opponent that we are supposed, you understand what I'm saying? But of course, at that local level, sometimes it's very, very difficult to ensure that people are not moving in areas where
because you see, we saw an example of that in Parliament, where an MP, this one was not within a political party, one political party was within two political parties. So an MP decides, like you said, it was close to call. So an MP decides to snatch a ballot paper in the glare, like view of everybody. This is Parliament. It could have been avoided. Well, either the MP will be disciplining himself, or the system should be able to prevent that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That this
and then you see it at the local level, a party level, where persons are doing that. It means that at a national level, we haven't been able to fight these happenings. We moved from opaque ballot boxes to what we call transparent, even though, in my opinion, it's not transparent enough. I mean, yeah. But this is what we're still faced with. I couldn't believe my eyes seeing someone go where there's military, I don't know, I didn't see the military, but the police, EC officials, and just enter and snatch a ballot paper.
No, but I would sort of say that, again, it's slightly controversial, is that it is not in anybody's interest to go to a polling station or wherever to snatch ballot box. And I think that even those incidents have reduced dramatically, right, over the period.
Okay, yeah.
However, like I'm saying, if the elections are very close, right, it's difficult. And what it means is that you have to put in mechanisms to ensure that those things are forestalled. You understand?
Yeah.
Because what tends to happen, let's say, for example, we've had 276 primaries, right? And then you have one incident, then it almost puts a blot on all the good things that we have done, right? So it means that even one is too many. You shouldn't allow these things to happen. So you can even talk about the general elections, where we execute an election across the country, 37,000 or so, 38,000 polling stations, right? And then you have incidents of maybe 10 or 15 of these polling stations across 38,000 polling stations. And that is what is being discussed. You understand what I'm saying? And so what it means is that we still have to be almost perfect when it comes to, one, the sensitization, the policing and regulatory aspect of the elections, ensuring that people understand that, yes, it's an election.
I think more of regulatory than sensitization. We know. Whoever takes ballot boxes know.
The stakes are high yet, but it is not the end of the world. You understand what I'm saying? And, you know, like I've been part of this process for a very long time. Yeah. And if you're not careful, there will be this perception that's created that, oh, some politician somewhere will go and get round up a couple of people, so go and pick a ballot box. I mean, it doesn't. It's
actually no more
people.
Because we've seen your leaders involved or engaged.
No. But I'm just saying that. Because we are part of a process. People, it's like going to a football match, right? And the game doesn't go, according to what your expectations are, and people would run onto the pitch and all of that. Nobody actually sits down and goes and want people to go and do that. You understand? But what you do is that you want to ensure that there's enough policing, there are barriers in place, and there are measures in place that when these things, people even decide to do these things, they're unable to do them, right? Or you actually limit to the barest minimum so that it doesn't become the topic rather than all the good things that have happened.
So we don't want to see this in election 2024?
Of course not.
Because in my opinion, I don't think that because Zuera has decided to fall out, it brings peace to Wale Wale. I now see Wale Wale as a flashpoint because this was the second time that was happening within a political party, one body. So I don't expect to see these things. So if it's happening within a party, it means that it can happen at a national level. So what are the measures we're putting in place to ensure that Wale Wale is not considered as one of the flashpoints? It's adding on to the flashpoints that we
I believe that whilst both, and I'm generalizing, whilst both parties have a responsibility to call their supporters to order, right? Usually it's the winner or the person who, the beneficiary, the main beneficiary, who has to be magnanimous. And when I say magnanimous, it should be the one that would have to extend the olive branch and take leadership and control of the situation and bring all the others to the fore. I honestly don't believe that it's such a big deal if it's handled the way that I know that.
Oh, the Wale Wale don't think it's a big
No,
deal.
that's what I'm saying, that if it's handled in the way that I believe that, as we speak, in the last 48 hours, is being dealt with.
Yeah, well.
Honorable.
Lawyer Inus Hussein has joined us. You're welcome, lawyer.
Thank you for,
Good morning
and sorry for being late. Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
You're welcome.
He's also former Minister for Lands and Natural Resources and also former Minister for Roads and Highways at the time. Roads and Highways, yeah. Very welcome. We're actually touching on what is happening within the party, the MPP, and Wale Wale to be precise, yeah. So we have the sitting MP now deciding to call the truce and fall out and not really engage. So it makes, or it puts Dr. Mahama at the front now. I'm not sure. The party will be holding a press conference, or a confirmation, something for him. What exactly is going to happen?
No, there was supposed to be an emergency NEC meeting today. But then since there has been a withdrawal, I'm not too sure what the decision will be. But of course, he's basically now the executive candidate. And so I'm sure that by close of day today, the party will come out with it.
I don't know, did you get a set of their figures that came out before the ballot box was smashed?
No,
I saw some comments about Dr. Tier had his votes counted up to about 500 or something, and then somebody decided that they will snatch the ballot box.
No, I didn't.
Anyway, I don't know. The EC has not given us some figures yet, but until what happened. So Honorable, what do you also say of what has happened with Wale Wale especially?
Well, clearly, what is happening in Wale Wale appears to be an indictment on the MPP, and particularly the office of the Vice President, because Honorable Zuera is a relation of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Vice President of the Republic and flag bearer of the MPP. Dr. Tia works from the Vice President's office. I mean, this ordinarily should be something that should be handled by the Vice President, because both come from his end. One from his office, one from his family.
Probably interference.
There's no interference. I mean, you're a family member. You have two people from your office contesting an election and threatening to put your party in jeopardy at your own backyard. I mean, if that is not irresponsibility, I don't know what to call it. It's a failure of leadership.
But if you were in his position, what would you have done?
Long before Dr. expressed his interest, long before Zuera put in a claim to contest again and renew her mandate, you ought to have engaged them. I mean,
but what shows he didn't?
If he did, he failed.
Because maybe
and that is exactly what we're talking about. If the Vice President of the Republic and flag bearer of the MPP can fail to manage two people directly connected with him, then how do you expect that he manages the country? How do you expect that he manages the country? And this is a serious indictment on his leadership qualities. Serious indictment. That a whole party can fail to organize and arrange their affairs at the backyard of the vice president of this country. Clearly, it's something which is troubling. I have followed, and I'm quite connected with Wale by reason of school and by reason of work. And I know the two candidates very well. And I don't think that this, if for nothing at all, if Vice President Bawumia was unable to manage, and clearly and evidently, he's been unable to manage the difficulties in Wale in a way that could bring sanity to prevail and ensure that his party continues on the, and takes part in an election that clearly will be acceptable not only to the MPP in Wale, but to the generality of the Ghanaian people, to respect the outcome of the elections. Now, how did this situation come about? In Wale, in the first time, people who were otherwise not qualified to vote got onto the electoral register of the MPP. So, you and I, as dispassionate observers of the processes in Wale, ought to be concerned that even in an internal process, and the president of the Ghana Bar Association, in bemoaning what was happening within the Ghana Bar Association, said that if a political party itself loses the moral authority to put in place a credible register that is acceptable to its members to be able to select who leads them in the constituency, how do you treat that political party? That it had to take a court of law to say that, well, your election was flawed, and flawed in a way that the outcome it has been affected. It's a political party. Then that political party rushes back to do a runoff. Again, organizes the election in such a way that an unauthorized and permitted person, a person who is a busybody, gets into the inner parameter of the electoral process, the voting process, and snatches ballots. Reminiscent of what happened in Parliament. How do you judge such a political party? Is it a serious political party? Is it really a serious political party that cannot even manage internal elections within the party? Now, I've heard you ask my good friend, and he's my good friend actually, what will happen? The elections have been inconclusive. Inconclusive. The fact that Larba has withdrawn does not automatically mean that unless the National Executive Committee, and I think that that's why he says they are meeting, unless they sit to say, well, in the circumstances, let the Dr. Kabiru Tia go, or it says KB Mahama go. But the election is inconclusive. But my worry, to be honest with you, is the impunity, the recklessness, and the lawlessness that characterize that event. It was totally unacceptable, doesn't sit well with democratic principles, and ought to be condemned with the vehemence that all of us can master. The fact that it's an internal election does not mean that it can throw the principles of democracy that animates any election anywhere through the window. And that's what they have done.
Yes.
Annie.
After the decision of the party, we cannot say much. That's for the party, but it is what happened that involves Ghanaians.
Yes.
And so what is the state of Wale today? That's why I said that in my opinion, if you ask me, I'm adding it to flashpoints of our general elections here in Ghana as a constituency.
Annie, you see, I believe that, you asked me a particular question concerning the turn of events, right? And now my senior has come and he's trying to bait me to go into the realms where maybe our viewers will say, oh, look at them again. They are doing equalizations and all of this. And I condemned the fact that anybody would attempt to pick a ballot box. But we all know that when it comes to internal elections and primaries and even general elections, over the period, we've had certain incidents that have happened that nobody will be proud of. And that's just exactly what I said. But then if my senior now actually invites me to give him examples of people who have been clubbed and cudgels and have been slashed with cutlasses and everything. You are a general. You've been doing this for a very long time. The examples abound. But you see, the moment I go into those quarters, then it's almost as if that, yeah, we are really countenancing that. Whatever has happened during the process is wrong. Again, it is not the political party that organizes an election. The elections are organized by the Electoral Commission. No.
What's the point?
No. I'm just saying. When you go through the process, the rules and regulations are there, and then the process is now given to the Electoral Commission to run. And that is the reason why the presiding officer is the one who actually declares who is the winner or not. Right. This process was not conclusive because someone, like he used the word busybody, decided to go through a process that did not really, wasn't legal, right? And that has happened even when it comes to general elections, where somebody will feel that something is untoward happening and they'll go and pick up a ballot and run away, right? And sometimes it is always the person who is either unsure if they are winning or not, because there's no way that somebody who is winning an election who believes strongly that I have won an election will disrupt the process. That is why I always don't want us to give too much, credence to. It's almost as if that you are creating two evils, right? That two people, these two people are supposed to be on the same pedestal. If
you do not give credence to the act,
yes,
you are only intensifying.
Yeah, but that is why I'm saying
that
is why I'm saying that, right? You have two persons in an election, right? Someone now decides to go and take the ballot box. It cannot be the case that if I was, for example, very confident that I was winning an election, will get anybody supporting me to go and take a ballot box. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes where we stop short of is to do an investigation and get to the bottom of the issue. Now, if this election is happening in a constituency or wherever, it's very clear that no stranger will come from anywhere to go and pick this ballot box. Right? So even at the local level, we need to be able to identify these persons and allow the law to take its course.
In this situation, who failed, the party or the Electoral Commission?
Oh, no, but that's what I'm saying. That when you start using words like failed and all of that.
Yeah, somebody failed. Yes.
Yeah, but because the thing is that
no, in this case, someone failed. It's either the security. Hold on. Let me make this point. It's either the security, the Electoral Commission, or the party itself. You said that various stakeholders. You indicated that, yeah, of course. Yeah. You indicated that it is the Electoral Commission that organizes elections. That's true. The Electoral Commission itself, when Ayawaso West Wogon happened, you remember the response it came with. And it doesn't provide security. Where the violence happened, it didn't happen within the parameters within the parameters where the votes were being collated. Mm-hmm. That was the excuse of the Electoral. It never took up any responsibility of what happened at Ayawaso West Wogon.
There's also the provision of security.
So I'm saying that's fine.
Somebody's
that's fine.
mandate.
But we know how, when you're counting ballots, we know how it's done. You secure a space.
Exactly.
Citizens are not allowed to come within that parameter, so they stand behind your barricade. Yeah. And then they observe. How did someone break through the human barricade, the artificial barricade created, walked all the way to the ballot box in the faces of the EC officials, in the glare view of security or police officers, picked the ballot box and ran away?
I like that. And that's the reason why I'm saying that if you start pointing your fingers at a political party, and in this particular case, a constituency party.
I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just asking that, in your opinion, what do you think happened? That is why I'm saying that whoever went to snatch this ballot box would have a very personal interest or parochial interest
in the outcome of this particular election, right? For them to actually defy all the security arrangements that have been put in place to do this without even thinking that they are going to be apprehended or something bad is going to happen if they do that. You understand my point?
Yeah.
And so, yes, it's okay to say that it was a process that was being made to elect somebody for the MPP, right? But when it comes to the management of it, in terms of the security arrangements and the processes and regulations, by our constitution, it actually says that the person who is only able to declare a winner is the presiding officer, right? And the regulations are given, you have a register that is given to them, both parties are happy with it, they go through. You see, when issues happen, that is when people now start coming to talk about stuff that they should have already, right, alerted the various authorities of if they were unhappy about. For example, you cannot be a serious parliamentary aspirant and then allow the process to go all the way to election day and say that you had an issue with the register. You cannot be. You know, so sometimes we give too much. I mean, I don't want to disrespect anybody. You cannot be a very serious player in any political discourse and say that, oh, you've waited all the way till the day of election and then you said that, oh, 6 people were in, 7, 20, 100 people were in, and that they will not be part. And then you actually availed yourself for that particular process. And then an outcome has come and then you say that, oh, let's do a retrospective audit of something that you should have known already. Come on. You know, so for me, I feel that, yes, this thing should not happen, but it's happened. We've come to a certain conclusion. The Honorable MP has decided that for peace to prevail, let's proceed. And I feel that that is commendable, right? But for you to now draw the Vice President into the conversation, and again, you see, you're entitled to that opinion. In one breath, if it had become very clear that the Vice President had now intervened to the point where he says that, oh, my friend KB Mahama should not contest, it would have been twisted in a certain...
He didn't say that.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what, because when you say that he should have intervened, what does that mean?
He didn't say
or
that.
If he had gone...
He didn't say that. He said
but that
if
is
he
what,
intervened,
but that
and
is
this
what,
is the results we
but
have,
that
then
is
his
why,
intervention
that
failed.
is why...
Because when you intervene, we expect that, like they say, the end justifies the means.
But speaking to the conscience of the person or using some level of negotiation to get to that matter. If I believe that, right, if I believe that I am better placed to serve the people, and it's happening all the time, right, I will definitely contest. And you can't, and that's what I'm saying, that it's also important that, and my honorable senior is also a lawyer, it's also important that sometimes you stick to the tenets. I believe that I have every right to contest an election. Our constitution does nothing in the constitution bars me from contesting an election, right? So you can speak to me as many hours as you want. If I believe that I'm not doing anything untoward, I can still go ahead and do that, right? So the fundamentals of running a democracy has not been touched.
Tampered with.
Yeah, all that I believe is that, yes, of course, I mean, prior to showing an interest, and that's why I explained to you that I've been in an election before. Even when you get to a certain point where you feel that, listen, all the odds are stacked against you and you might not win, you cannot, right, you cannot disappoint your supporters because you expose them. You understand what I'm saying? So you want to contest an election, you go halfway through, you realize that it's not happening, right? But you cannot withdraw because what tends to happen is that next time you even decide that, oh, today I'm ready, I want to contest, people will not even trust that you're going to go all the way to the end. And so maybe some of these things should be done well ahead of time.
All right.
And I agree that, yes, it should be done well ahead of time. But once people are adamant that they want to contest and they want to represent their people, I don't really see anything wrong with that. It's how you deal with the fallout.
Right. Well,
That's important.
Let me say good morning to the Finance Minister, Mohammed Amin Adam. He says he's watching, so good morning to you, sir. And we hope that you're running the economy properly. I know it's a difficult place
Well,
to find
Rami Anta has
yourself.
found time
Yes,
to,
but good morning to you.
Yes, my
Yes.
to be watching this program.
Yes.
In the face of these difficulties that we are in.
Yes, but I mean, what can you do? It is a platform for difficult issues. Yes.
Well,
right.
So first of all, let's get things clear. My good friend says that it's the Electoral Commission that organizes the party. The Constitution says, and the political parties law says, the Electoral Commission
supervises the party's activities.
Why so? Because there is a provision that requires, in our law, that requires all political parties under this dispensation to conduct their activities along democratic lines, in accordance with democratic principles. And so, when you are going to conduct your elections, you want a testimonial that you have actually conducted the elections along democratic principles, on democratic lines.
Yeah.
And who is better placed than the Electoral Commission to supervise your elections and give you
that declaration.
The declaration that you have conducted it. But it is not the Electoral Commission that organizes the election. It is not the Electoral Commission that compiles the register of the MPP. It is not the Electoral Commission. It is not the Electoral Commission that determines the place where the election will take place. It is not the Electoral Commission. It is the party. It is not the Electoral Commission that determines the date that the Electoral Commission, the election will take place. No, it is not the Electoral Commission. This supervise. Number two, and we need to get it clear. Now, when you put the larger interest of your party ahead of your own parochial interests, there are decisions that you will take to secure the larger interests. In 2008 or so, no, not 2008, when President Kufuor was exiting office, and there was a contest to select the flag bearer of the party. You know Alan contested? You know he contested? You know what happened for Alan to step down to allow Nana Akufo-Addo to go? Nana Akufo-Addo did not win an outright 50+1 majority at that meeting. So in putting the larger interest of the party is talking to persons involved, stakeholders, actors, to place the larger interest. That's the call we are making on Dr. Bawumia. That there is precedent in your party. For you to fail to adhere to that precedent and ensure sanity prevails is what is leading to the condemnation. I'm sure, even in your mind, you're simply not happy that matters have come to this point. And I'm saying that, I'm drawing conclusions, that if our sitting vice president, who actually is from Peregu, which Peregu has now fused with Walwale, who has said he comes from Walwale and is interested in the development of the party in Walwale. And in any case, until 2000, Walwale was not an MPP stronghold. Until 2000. Now, so if you are seeking to present Walwale as a formidable place for the MPP, you should be interested in what happens. Democracy or not, you should be interested. And in fact, democracy is not inconsistent with engaging people. It's not inconsistent. So clearly, everybody knows, including people in the MPP, that the failure of the vice president, and that goes, this is so telling on him, that he has failed to manage and the MPP in Walwale. And his failure is so disastrous and catastrophic for the party that what he has done has succeeded in dividing his party in Walwale. And which vice president and flag bearer will want to divide his party at his own backyard? Which flag bearer?
It's not like he decided to divide his own party. Like I said, maybe he did an intervention.
I didn't say he decided. I said it's failure, it's default.
Okay.
It's a default position. It's a default position. Because he ought to have acted positively to ensure that it didn't happen.
Okay.
The default position has divided his party.
Okay, I want to capture this coming from, still staying with the Electoral Commission, from Dr. Omane Boamah in response to the EC's address of vote transfer or mass vote transfers from one constituency to the other. Yesterday there was a Pusika issues that were raised by the EC and addressed. But let me read the response coming from Dr. Omane Boamah, and my producers will probably get the EC videos ready, and then we can also hear what the EC actually said. But Dr. Omane Boamah writes, we believe a forensic audit will answer the following questions. 1, the extent of manipulation, how widespread. Okay, let me just do it this way so that we can. Okay, so it says why the voter register needs forensic audit. So 1, the extent of manipulation, how widespread it is the issue of illegal voter transfer. If the Pusiga EC office could transfer voters from Tamale South constituency without proper authorization, what is the scale of similar incidents across the country? Now, how many voters might have been affected, and how can this be accurately quantified? 2, system vulnerabilities. What specific vulnerabilities in the Electoral Commission system, human and technical, allowed for the unauthorized transfers? Are there specific protocols or security measures that are bypassed or ignored? Specifically, will the EC's attempts to address these weaknesses prevent further manipulation ahead of December 7 elections? If yet, what prevented the EC from not instituting such measures? 3, timeliness of provisional register. Timeliness of provisional register. Why was there such unavoidable delay in providing the provisional register, voters register, to the NDC? 4, impact of mistakes on the elections. What is the potential impact of the admitted mistakes and errors by the Electoral Commission on fairness of the upcoming elections? Will the mistakes compromise the integrity of the election results? 5, historical comparisons. Historical comparisons. The EC generalized its mistakes by referring or referencing errors made by past commissions. How does this comparison help address the current concern, and what lesson have been learned from previous errors to prevent similar issues in the future? 6, timeline for corrections. What is the timeline for addressing these issues in order to deliver a reliable, credible, accurate, and fit-for-purpose voters register before printing the register and other materials will commence as originally planned and agreed at IPAC? Answering these questions honestly and truthfully through an independent forensic audit is non-negotiable and essential for safeguarding the credibility of Ghana's electoral process. The independent forensic audit will ensure that upcoming elections reflecting the true will of the suffering people of Ghana. We urge the Electoral Commission to immediately desist from needless rationalization of their avoidable errors. The EC must understand that the credibility of Ghana's democratic process hinges on the integrity of the electoral institutions. Protect my vote, hashtag free fair elections, hashtag eagle eye, and hashtag organize, don't agonize. All right, so that is the response to the Electoral Commission. But also on the other side, Dr. Afarijan has been speaking on the elections, and he says that persons who commit serious election offenses, particularly if they are professional election officials or electronic experts, must be severely punished for attempting to undermine the will of the people, possibly a treasonable act. A former chairman of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Kojo Afarijan, has said, and I am singling out professional election administrators and electronic experts because they know what they're doing. A voter may commit some infractions. An election official, by their training, they know what is right, what is the right thing to do. The electronic expert who is tampering with figures knows exactly what he is doing, and these people, I am suggesting, they should be seriously punished, Dr. Afarijan added. According to Dr. Afarijan, punishing offenders severely will serve as a deterrent to others who plan to engage in election malpractices. Dr. Varijan, who was speaking at the Ghana Bar Association annual conference in Kumasi Tuesday, stressed that in democratic election, the voter is preeminent and a valid vote is invaluable for purposes of determining the choices of people. For this reason, the seizing election administrator said any act intended to manipulate or undermine the will of the people, particularly by those employed to oversee the exercise, should be considered as an act of treason. Right, so these are some of the voices. We also have Speaker of Parliament who has said a couple of things. I think I want to add that before I take a break. The EC said we're committed to free, fair elections. I think I'll capture that later, but for now, I'm trying to get the Speaker of Parliament statement. Okay, I think I'm a little lost, so let me see if I can find it. On the front page of the Accra Times, it says election 2024 election is about Ghana, not NDC, NPP. There's another report where the speaker also said that the EC is actually playing with fire. Yesterday, I raised the issue of Akatapori, who was complaining about his personal data being given out, and therefore he's receiving messages from from presidential candidates he should not be receiving. He should not be receiving messages from. Daily Post says that we are just playing with fire, says Babing, as he accuses government of preventing EC from being free, a free referee. And this is coming from the Speaker of Parliament. 2024 elections, we don't want to see military moving around. That is also from the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Babing. So those are some of the issues that's been raised with the Electoral Commission. Let me take a breather. When I come back, we'll have a bite on that. And then we get into the issue of Galamsey again. We'll be back shortly.
Do you know someone who's making a difference in your community? Someone whose selfless actions and dedication to helping others deserves recognition? Then it's time to celebrate these incredible individuals on MTN Heroes of Change.
It's time to nominate those selfless individuals to win 100,000 Ghana cedis and other cash prizes and be crowned MTN Hero of Change. You can also nominate a blogger or someone in the digital space and any of the media houses to win our new category of Digital Hero and Media Hero of Change. Just fill an online nomination form at mtn.com.gh or send a WhatsApp with a 1-minute video of your nominee's project on 055-141-1122. Deadline for nominations is 18th October 2024, so don't waste time. Nominate your hero now.
MTN Heroes of Change. Be the change you wish to see.
Experience the enhanced protection of Star Motor Third Party Extra from Star Assurance, an enhanced motor third party insurance policy that provides cover for loss or damage to your vehicle's windscreens, side mirrors, back glass, and other glass components. Whether it's a crack or major damage, you can drive with the assurance that your vehicle is well protected. Our commitment to you includes affordable coverage options and a claims process that is both fast and straightforward, so you spend less time dealing with paperwork and more time on the road. Also, we have proudly partnered with Hope for Little Lives, an organization dedicated to supporting children in need. By choosing Star Motor Third Party Extra, you're protecting your vehicle and making a positive impact. Every policy you buy helps bring joy and support to children in underserved communities. Reach out to us now on our toll-free numbers 0800-177-177 or 0302-245-906 to sign up. Let us help you drive with peace of mind and purpose. Star Motor Third Party Extra. Drive with confidence, Give back with heart.
Star Assurance, your solid partner.
Choose the perfect prize for you every week and stand to win your choice of exciting prizes, all to get more of what matters to you. Exclusive to Betway. Betway, get way more. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18.
Using Coa Mixture, Coa Plus Mixture, and Coa MT Mixture. Brought to you by Coa Research and Manufacturing Limited Company. Proudly made in Ghana. Formulated to support your general well-being. For those seeking immune system support, there is Coa Plus Mixture. Support your body's defenses and stay strong. When it comes to combating malaria, Coa MT Mixture will aid your treatments. For effective relief from malaria symptoms, try Coa MT Mixture. Coa Mixture, Coa Plus Mixture, and Coa MT Mixture are not recommended for pregnant women, lactating mothers, and children under 12 years. Always take a malaria test before using Coa MT Mixture. Choose Coa Mixture, Coa Plus Mixture, and Coa MT Mixture for your health needs. Available now at pharmacies nationwide. For bulk purchases, contact 0244 726611 or 0591 565 778. This advert is
anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh bread.
I'm a fat missy way.
The patch of Bantama.
Matias.
That's a cycle.
Her smile, the fresh breath.
Me, Jidi said we use Cal 360 toothpaste. Some kind.
Cal 360 toothpaste.
That's Kia. Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim Jom Kasan. Cal 360 better way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
You will see so feeling when you know Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
In today's modern world, stairs are a challenge, especially for our elderly and those with health concerns. Navigating them can be difficult and even dangerous, but there's a safer way to move vertically. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, your answer to a more accessible and secure vertical transportation. Our elevators and escalators, including top-of-the-line pneumatic vacuum elevators, Fuji elevators and escalators, offer a safer and more convenient alternative, eliminating the risks of stairs and enhancing accessibility for homes, businesses, and hospitals. Choose safety and convenience with Lifts and Elevators Limited Company. Elevate your spaces today. For more information, visit our website at www.elevatorsgh.org or call now on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, the elevator people.
Welcome to Rehoboth Havens, a tranquil oasis in the serene surroundings of Aye Mensa Danfa. Discover Sand Bay, our 3-bedroom homes that redefine comfort and affordability, along with cozy 2-bedroom options that make you feel right at home. Designed with your family's safety, comfort, and convenience in mind, these homes offer a blend of luxury and practicality. Imagine living in a space where every corner feels like home. Your dream home is closer than you think. Experience the perfect balance of serenity and city life at Aye Mensa Danfa. Ready to make your housing dream a reality? Visit us today at 145 North Legon, Accra, or call us at +233 553 751 933 or +233 206 823 524. For our UK clients, you can reach us on +44 190 853 3149 or +44 791 737 6631. Visit www.rehobothsocialhousing.com to learn more. Rehoboth Social Housing, where your housing dream become a reality.
The luckiest.
*712#.
Luck is everywhere.
8K. Hey, you get an 8K. Get that packing so you have to come. Wallah. Hey, wait.
You go put it on his tab. This is my man.
Good luck. Hey, go bill radio. We have star 712. It's much more phone. I'm on dialing the magic numbers. Star 712. Now welcome to the luckiest. And I'm with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved one.
Mommy, tell mommy who's here.
You're buying for me, right?
Or who else?
Let's
choose buy tickets for others.
Love you, boo boo.
Maybe straight to option 4. Now, you need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or preferred tickets. I'm choosing random ticket. That's it. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5.
Baby, give me your 5 numbers.
And how much are we buying?
Babe, look at the body and buy you.
With your body,
Hey,
never. Tread cautiously. Now follow the prompts and confirm. Now the luckiest.
The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. TNCs apply.
All right, you're welcome back to the program. So, good morning, Ghana. And I still have Eric Amakuchum with me, a member of Dr. Bawumia's campaign team and spokesperson for government. And we also have lawyer Yunus Afuseni with us, former minister for 2 ministries, lands and natural resources, and also the roads and highways. But let me remind you that today we will be joining a presser on Galamsey at the press conference around 10:30, and as and when they come through, we will actually go there and join the live feed. But also, let me remind you that the annual conference of performing arts, that's ACPA 2024, under the auspices of the National Theatre of Ghana, presents a rich performing arts industry, the role of public policy. The event is coming off at the British Council at exactly 5 p.m. on the 11th of September 2024, which is today. The ACPA 2024 is being partnered by Accra City Hotel, Volta River Authority, Tema Oil Refinery, Ghana Tourism Authority, CTFM Channel 1 TV, Multimedia Group, Metro TV, TV3 and 3FM. Visit the website is acpag.org/ETN/ACPA 2024 to register, or call the numbers 0244 698917 or 0548 299003. You can also join online on meet.google.com/QPG dash XONMCQT. Take note, please. You can join the online. All are cordially invited. The moderator will be Apioko Ashong Abe, and the panelists include Mr. Joseph Sapong, Manager, Performance Monitoring and Evaluation Division, State Interest and Governance Authority, SIGA. And then we also have Kwame Bwedi, Film Director, Executive Producer, also as a speaker. So please take note of this program. It's happening at the British Center today, at the British Council. So you want to be a part of it. Betway is also giving you a guarantee to get more chances to play. Betway says pick your prizes and let's choose a preferred promotion to make a perfect sports bet every day, from your payouts boost to cash out. So please, plus you will also stand a chance to own prizes from vouchers, electronics, and also grand prize of airline tickets. Terms and conditions apply. It's regulated by the Gaming Commission. Betway, play responsibly. So visit the website is betway.com.gh. Betway.com.gh. Blue Jeans Energy Drink, also still on the market for 20 years. It gives you vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12, as well as taurine and guarana, which boosts your strength and energy, as well as promotes high performance. Blue Jeans Energy Drink has been tested and tried, and is best for you. Contact Budget Cash and Carry for bulk purchase on 0208 128 190 or 055 001 0000. I want to take this opportunity to capture some of your messages that have come through before I get to the guest. So, Simon, the Dean of Parliamentary Court, says that, good morning, Annie. What Honorable Fuseni is saying is exactly what I captured in the Accra Times. The situation in Waliwali is a clear indication that Bawumia is not respected in his own backyard. So this is historic. 3 months to elections, a whole vice president can't produce a parliamentary candidate. Okay. And Henry from Koforidua says that the MPP has become more violent under this leadership of Nana Bawumia administration. What is happening in Waliwali has exposed Dr. Bawumia incompetency and bad leadership skills. Say no to Bawumia, you say. This one says that, Mark from USA, good morning, Annie. There is an English word, neutrality. The vice president remained impartial and not taking sides or showing favoritism towards either the relative or his staff. This could be a deliberate decision to avoid conflict of interest, maintain family harmony, and good working relationship with his staff, and or ensure a fair and unbiased political process. Other terms might be used to describe the situation. However, neutrality is the most fitting term to describe this specific situation. Honorable Minister Fuseni should be in Kumasi to vote for Ifwa Gati. Cheers. We should brace ourselves for more ballot box snatching in December. Mark, no, I disagree. We cannot brace ourselves for more ballot snatching. Evans Dinko Gary says that, Annie, good morning. Talking about ballot box snatching, it's the MPP who are masters of the act, where we're able to do we're able to do that in most of the constituencies in 2020 general elections, and even climax in Parliament, where an MPP member of Parliament, in the person of Honorable Hajide, no, it's not an Honorable Pius. Please, I beg you, it's not Honorable. You don't know the one who actually did the snatching, and I beg you, don't come and put me into trouble. It is not Pius. Please. Go and look for it and send it. It's not Pius, I beg you. Or I should tell you. Two ballot papers in full glare of Parliament and TV. Watches at night. Okay. But Gary, please, it's not Pius. Sampiale ambassador, he says that I used to think that snatching of ballot boxes had left our body politicking until I saw a whole sitting MP on my television snatching a ballot box in Parliament, of all places. Now the act has been perfected in Waliwali. It is engineered, you mean, in their DNA. No, I doubt. Annie, in Walewale, Dr. Bawumia's backyard, he is not able to resolve the mess at the record time or in record time. And Dr. Kabiru is even unsure of the democracy in his group ruling Ghana are churning out. This group ruling Ghana are churning out to be turning out because he was shocked at someone who is a chairman within the Walewale, well known to all of the storming and counting centers, destroying ballot papers, is described as, oh, your message is just jumbled up. I can't get it right up. Okay, this Chumbafo says that Nanabia, good morning, and good morning to my senior brother Alhaji Yunus Afuseni. We truly have men and women who are concise, knowledgeable, and authoritative with their delivery, giving their experience and expertise. Eric, I am not digging you. Why? You're not supposed to. In fact, you're not expected to dig him. Annie, wallahi, the environment is so badly polluted. Authorities do something about it. And this is from Alhaji Haruna. Okay, this has to do with the Ramsar sites. Alhaji Haruna, I know that you've been campaigning on this, but that is where we are today. Okay, let me just pause here. Okay, I've seen a register or a timeline. I'll deal with that later. But okay, last one. This one says that there is no gainsaying that an audit of the voter register is necessary. However, it is a forensic audit we require or system audit. I believe it is the latter. Okay, so is it a forensic audit or a system audit? Well, I believe it's both. I don't know what you think, but I believe it's both. Because a forensic audit will affect the system. Do you understand? So I believe it's both. So on the discrepancy in an IT system will require an audit of the entire system, because errors in a computerized system are generally repetitive. After an audit, wrongdoing is established. A forensic audit can then be carried out to prosecute those who abuse the system. And then that could happen even after the elections. Let me stress that the forensic audits are time-consuming and expensive and carried out for prosecution purposes. They are carried out after another audit is pointing to wrongdoing. Moses Bedi is the one that sent me in. Moses, thank you for the update anyway. That is also your take on it. But in my opinion, when it comes to IT and its explanation, the AC has been communicating in a very funny manner. The first time she, or the Electoral Commission, not she, but the Electoral Commission addressed the mistakes captured in the infographics, the Electoral Commission says it was using Corel Draw before, which raised a lot of concerns that you use Corel Draw for data analytics. And then the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jim Mensah, when she was explaining, added that now they have resorted to using Excel. In fact, I expect that Excel will be more accurate. But then, didn't end there, or didn't stop there. She went ahead to say, because we're using Excel, we cannot give you infographics, which I thought was a blatant falsehood. Because you can't tell me that because you're using Excel, you cannot generate infographics. Excel generates infographics as well. So I thought that was... so the communication even on IT has been all over the place. And the EC must definitely address these issues. Some of us, we pay attention to the details of the things you say. And so when these issues come up, it becomes very difficult to even appreciate or reconcile the explanations. However, let me now let you into some of the issues that have been raised, especially by... okay, now you have come back with Carlos Ahinkra. Thank you for your correction. All right. Yeah, so, yes.
Before I even proceed to this EC matter, I feel that sometimes we overstretch these conversations and apportion blame where it's not supposed to be. So for this, even this conversation around an electoral process in Walewale.
A few minutes on this and then we go to Galamsey.
And then now there's almost a personal attack on the person of the vice president and calling him all sort of names. For me, I think it's neither, and it shouldn't be. It's politics, but sometimes a bit of decorum is important. You understand? Because you see, when you do that, you invite people, and I try to restrain myself from going into that space, because then it becomes boring. Maybe if I was a viewer and I was at home, like, oh, there they go again, politicians and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I think that it's imperative that once we have these discussions, yes, deal with the substance of the issues, talk about it. But the personal attacks and all sort of casting aspersions and innuendos, for me, it's really not a good thing. I've also taken it upon myself to use the John Mahama principle when it comes to addressing issues to do the Electoral Commission. This Electoral Commission that we have, since 1992, has conducted 8 successful elections. And I would say that when in 2015, thereabout, people were agitating that there were certain issues with the Electoral Commission, the former President John Mahama said that we should leave the EC alone, and that the EC has the capacity and the competence to deliver an election. So as far as I'm concerned, what has changed? The only thing that has changed is the principle of ensuring that you allow Electoral Commission to do its work and give it the independence that the Constitution that we have actually gives it. But I also don't defend the Electoral Commission. I've never sat here and ever felt that, it was my place to defend things or even act as a spokesperson or a PR for an Electoral Commission. And that's the reason why they have all the various functional departments within the Electoral Commission to address these things. So if, for example, there's an issue to do with IT systems, they have the persons to do that. If there's an issue to do with their regulations and security and timelines and all of those things, they're well placed to do that. What I detest is this whole attempt to create a certain perception that the Electoral Commission is in bed with the governing New Patriotic Party.
You detest it?
I detest it.
You detest it?
I do. Because, you see, because if you don't, I'm a politician, and so I can say this with all the conviction that I have.
I didn't say you
because
I say it's interesting.
Yes, because especially when it is coming from the likes of Omani Boama.
Oh.
I'm telling you for a fact. If you're a politician, that is why.
I thought you didn't want to defend
No, but that is why I'm saying that.
Likes?
When it is coming from people like that, or these things are coming from the NDC, right? If you're not careful, you would even adopt a position that, so what? Right? Because we cannot take lessons. We are not taking lessons when it comes to governance and electoral reforms and systems from an NDC.
Eric.
We are not.
No, Eric.
Right?
Hold
and
on.
if you have issues...
I'll let you continue. I'll allow you.
Please,
I will... No matter... Hold on. Regardless how... Regardless the brackets you put Dr. Omani Boama or the NDC in.
Yeah.
They have raised issues that they've seen with the register.
But
hold on. The Electoral Commission.
Forget
the Electoral Commission
of former President John Mahama.
Eric, stop this. Stop this.
No, I'm just saying.
The Electoral Commission. Hold on. The Electoral Commission has held a press conference admitting these mistakes that had been identified or has been identified.
That is why I started with the caveat
how does that put Dr. Omani Boama in the light?
Let me finish. I told you from the onset, I will not attempt to even speak, prefer an opinion on a job that is meant to be of the Electoral Commission. I won't do that. I have never done that. And so whatever challenges there are, whatever issues that are supposed to be fixed, I believe as a consummate Democrat that the Electoral Commission should fix it. My problem is where it is coming from. Because, listen, you remember when what's his name? Richard the last guy. Right? I don't know if it's Richard the last guy. I've forgotten it.
Oh, sorry.
I've forgotten who he is. Where there was
Richard
this.
the last guy?
No, I've forgotten who it is. Maybe I'm making a mistake. But this issue about NHI's registrants on the electoral roll that went all the way to the Supreme Court, where it turned out that the Electoral Commission was asked to expunge 56,000 names from the roll, right? And the agitations that were coming from certain countries, even included the New Patriotic Party, if I'm being objective, right? And the pushback that came from the sitting president at the time in terms of, oh, the process is clean, fair, and that we are just raising red herrings because we felt that we were going to lose the elections. And so, for me, the principle is that if there are specific issues that have been identified by whoever, definitely the EC has a responsibility to answer, right, and deal with. But when you go into the realms of now making it look as if that the MPP stands to gain and that we are in bed with the Electoral Commission, I detest that. Because if that was the case, right, then I'm going to say that, well, so in the times when people were agitating and saying all of these things, that was exactly what the NDC was doing.
In what paragraph did he say that? In his whole write-up I read.
Forget about it, but we've heard these commentaries.
No, Eric, I'm not going to.
But listen,
I am.
Let me finish.
I know. I'm manning.
Hold on. Saying that.
No, Eric, hold on. No.
You understand? You've heard all the commentary.
No. I think you're being mischievous about this. I am representing a platform where I am actually obliged to pick an official statement. The official statement I read did not in any way connote that Dr. Mani Boma was engaging in coloration of the Electoral Commission. He actually pointed out pertinent issues and addressed the issues without mentioning MPP.
But you don't expect me to also sit here and not look at it from a big picture.
Oh, then you're not being fair to him.
I'm being honest with you. You understand? You don't expect that. I will not go back to people from the NDC who have even claimed that they will not accept the results if they lose. And they are going to lose. Right? And then the same people will now stand somewhere and have an issue with someone saying that, well, we are not going to hand over because we believe that we are going to win the elections, and that for us as a political party, we are not going to be, intimidated into handing over power if we know for a fact that the EC has declared us as winners. They say they have a problem with that. How would you have a problem with that?
Because
you cannot stampede.
So these are the points he raised.
No, but that's what I'm saying, that you see, all of these things they are doing all of these things in anticipation for a defeat.
But the EC responded.
But that's just what I'm saying. Forget about, that's what I'm saying, that all of these conversations around, you have challenges and all of that, it's as a result of a position that has been taken by the NDC from the time.
My producer said they want you to look at this picture.
Right? A position that has been taken by the NDC to suggest that there are certain things that are happening that are supposed to not be in their favor. And like John Mahama said, former President Mahama said in the past, it's almost as if that, oh, you're creating an environment where you tarnish the reputation of the referee. And so that in the event that you lose the election, that becomes your go-to. And these people have stood on platforms indicating that, oh, we are going to do boot for boot. We are not going to allow, if we are not declared winners, this country is going to be ungovernable. They've said all sorts of things. So I will not take this particular statement in isolation. You don't expect me to do that.
Eric,
and I'm saying that if there are issues,
do you appreciate the concern of appointing a known party person into the Electoral Commission to put him in IT section or department? Have you seen the video of the electoral officer, returning officer, making a statement on the platform and said that he forgot where he was. He almost said,
"Yeah, you are making me
kukurudu." Have you seen that video?
You are making me. You are making me. You see that's what
this
I'm saying.
This is the commission that you expect.
I don't want to.
They'll be neutral.
Right, listen.
You have set the grounds for mistrust.
Okay, I'm saying that. You see, you are inviting me today. You are tempting me.
Am I?
Yes. You see, you are inviting me to go into areas where I don't want to go.
Okay,
to,
but
right?
you have to.
Because listen, we know that since 92, or prior to 92, when it comes to these appointments and people who have been colored as MPP and DC, it's there. Have you read Atoahoe's book?
Oh, don't you don't.
No, I'm just.
I know what you're going to do. No, I know your reference points.
But you see, why are you discounting?
Are you comparing Dr. Afarijan to Apia?
You see, you're making a mistake. I'm just saying. What you're doing? I'm saying that. I'm saying. Let me make my point.
I know what you're going to say.
Right. Let me make my point.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
I know the reference points you're going to make.
Someone who was part. Listen. You see, sometimes you
someone who was part of what?
Who was part of a PNDC administration and became a key member of an NDC administration and everything, was the one who was tasked to go and find an electoral commissioner at a beer bar.
So?
Right, but the point I'm making is that we've gone past all of those things. But even in that instance, that same person was the one who declared President Kufuor as president.
Eric.
Right? So for me,
that person you're making reference to, do you know that he was asked to, what's it called, embark on a register audit?
Oh, no, but
the same thing they're asking for. Do you know?
There's nothing wrong.
Do you know? Do you know that he once carried out an audit?
But every electoral commissioner has done these things.
I'm saying that, do you know? And it's good that we have that history, so that you know the things this person you're trying to accuse did.
Listen, I'm not accusing anybody. I'm just saying that you're making references. And all I'm trying to say is that it has never been a perfect system. But we have found ways of even people who have been appointed by incumbent government turn out to be the ones who are now declaring their opponents as duly elected. And Afarijan himself, we're trying to read a statement that he presented. He says that, listen, in all of these conversations, you have to have your pink sheet at the polling station level. I have my personal challenges with the architecture and even the issues, certain things to do with gerrymandering and even with the Electoral Commission. And I've said this on this particular platform that sometimes when we even make conversation, we have conversation around constituencies and do we have to add new constituency and demarcations and everything, right? There are things that have been done, have been engaged. That's why sometimes when I hear people like Omani Boma and co, I feel absolutely no need to even listen to what they are saying. Listen, my constituency, right? Fantiakwa South. You would drive through Ebuakwa North and drive through Fantiakwa North and go back to another section of Fantiakwa South. Right? So if somebody is in a place called Ehiamenchini or Abodobi and everything, they go through 2 districts to come back to a district that they are supposed to be part of. All in the name of gerrymandering. Right? There are so many examples like that. And so when we want to have proper conversation around the electoral processes, the Electoral Commission and everything, let's do that. But once you try to create a certain perception that this thing is being engineered by somebody for election purposes, I will not accept that. Let me tell you, yesterday, or rather, a friend of mine was asking me, oh, why is it that I cannot just take my passport and Ghana card and go and vote? And I felt like we are in 2024 and we are acting that we are still living in the Stone Ages. And it's because even as political parties, we all are so, scared of each other and mistrust each other that we do not even allow the right thing and the most commonsensical thing to happen. Somebody is a Ghanaian, has a Ghanaian passport, has a Ghana card, and they have to go onto electoral roll before they can be able to vote. Just because for us as both political parties, when it comes to these things which is supposed to be fundamental, just by dint of the fact that we don't trust each other, we don't allow the process.
Or
we don't even allow the process of people continuous registration, for example, which is in the Constitution.
I don't think
and that is why...
I don't think when it comes
listen,
to...
let me finish. Let me finish. Right? That is why I have challenges with when people are complaining, because we pick and choose certain aspects of the same Constitution when it suits us.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
So for me, yes, when they have issues, let's deal with it. If they have audit issues, let's deal with it. But the reality on the ground is that if you are a political party worth your salt, the job, as they say all the time, is on the ground.
Chuma wanted to do something.
He said
with politicians in our country. Okay, I ask Eric this question: which politician in our country first altered the sentence? If we don't win this election, we will make this country ungovernable. Who first altered it? The EC have actually acknowledged every single one of the concerns. Please, when it comes to intellectual and intelligent discourse, you have nothing on Dr. Omane Boama. You say, okay, so nothing at all. Don't even go there. It's a fight you won't win. At least everyone knows his mates. Okay, that's a little bragging there. Annie, I think Eritrea is no. Okay, if you want to send messages, please. Your sentences must be decent, else I won't read it.
Annie, you asked for the Constitution.
Say again? No, oh no.
I asked for the Constitution.
Yes, sure.
Because we are a democratic country. And we subscribe to the universal democratic creed. We the people. That is why NDC, our middle name, is democratic. That the preamble of the Constitution is very clear. Now I invite my good friend to read the preamble and digest it. You will see where our claims are founded. Now, and we are doing that in exercise of our inalienable rights. That's what we are doing. But I'll try to discuss this matter in 3 segments. What has happened before? What has brought us to this situation? And the call by Dr. Omane Boama for a forensic audit. Eric, in this country, we started elections with an opaque ballot box. In this country, 1992. Who called for the transparent ballot boxes? MPP. Why? They believe that votes were being starved.
In the boxes, in the opaque boxes.
But that's how we started. We move on to black and white photo albums for the elections. Who called for the use of color albums? The MPP. In exercise of their inalienable rights. Was there evidence that when we were using the black and white albums to vote, there was vote rigging? No, there was no such evidence. But they said the color picture was more sharper than the black and white. We agreed. We moved on. Who called for a movement from the manual verification to biometric verification? The MPP. In exercise of their inalienable rights to secure free, open, free, fair elections and transparent elections. What has changed?
Under Dr. Farijan.
Under Dr. Farijan.
Same person.
In 2016, the running mate to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the current vice president, said there were 8,000 names. You remember? Mm-hmm. Ghost names on the register. It compelled a forensic audit of the register. 8,000. Today we're not talking about 8,000. We are talking about hundreds of thousands. And You won't listen to anything from Dr. Omane Boama? My brother, why have we gotten to where we are? We have got an electoral commission that has decided that there are some people in this country who don't need a member of parliament. Electoral commission. And we are okay with it. An electoral commission, an institution of state,
so
decided that some people in this country must not produce a member of parliament. We are okay. We've got an electoral commission that in 2020 declared results and changed the results 5 times. That's the electoral commission. We have got an electoral commission that refused to accept that biometric verification devices were missing from their office until that evidence was made available to them. That's the electoral commission. We have got an electoral commission whose deputy had said that a political party in this country is a veritable threat to our democracy. Electoral commission and a commissioner. And that electoral commissioner was an activist of the MPP on campus of the University of Ghana. In fact, even the electoral commissioner was an activist of the MPP on the University of Ghana. We've got an electoral commission that decided in the face of all arguments that if the electoral register in 2020 was bloated after 2016, all we needed to do was to clean it. They said, well, the numbers were more. It compared an electoral register that produced numbers more than the register, it said it was bloated. What was the justification for the compilation now? If the addition could be remedied by incremental registrations. We've got an electoral commission whose officers have engaged in serious illegalities. And Pusiga is a case in point. By the electoral laws of this country, if Eric transfers his votes from Fantiako North to Accra, there must be a trail. Fantiako South to Accra, there must be a trail. There must be an absent voter and trail in Fantiako South and a transferred voter register in Accra at the polling station where he has transferred, so that it will lend credibility to the electoral register.
Of that transparency.
Transparency. It's not being done. We are not able to trace, to track the transfers. What do you expect that we do? We sit down and fold our arms and look at an electoral office and look at an electoral commission that has told us in our face, even though there's a universal creed that says we have established unto ourselves a government, and that government includes institutions of state, which says that it is a law unto itself. That's what the electoral, it has said that several times. It's a law unto itself. We sit down and fold our arms. Is that how democracy works? It works by allowing people to behave with impunity. In fact, impunity is an affront to democracy. So what we are doing is holding that office to account. And another name for democracy is accountability. We are holding the Electoral Commission to account. Account to us. Let us understand. Explain to us how it is possible in the face of the express provisions of the law that your officer can enter the system and cause transfers of registered voters from one place to another without the voters putting in an application for such transfers. Explain to us, how can that Does it mean that your system is vulnerable? And if your system is vulnerable, how many such transfers have occurred? We can only speculate. We don't want to speculate.
Help me understand legally.
Yes.
How do you think that Dr. Farijan went as far as asking that should be treated as a treasonable offense?
It's a treasonable offense. The right to elect a leader is guaranteed by the Constitution.
Okay, so the moment you decide to...
The moment you decide to disenfranchise, you are violating the express provisions of the Constitution, and you are subverting the will of the people. Okay. It's just like trying to overthrow a government.
Okay.
That's how it works.
Okay.
Now, so if you do so willfully, you have committed a treasonable offense because you are subverting or attempting to subvert the express will of the people, and the election will not become a manifest expression of the will of the people.
Okay.
That's just what it means. And so that is what we are calling for. And it's that when I listen to my good friend like Eric, I wonder what they are asking for. Is it an impossibility? Is it difficult to do? You want to carry the whole country along? Jane Mensah was a vociferous advocate of transparency when she was working at the IEA. She criticized Afarijan on numerous occasions when Afarijan sought to explain the procedures that he adopted, or the Electoral Commission adopted to ensure that there was the credibility of the register. What is different now? What is different? Look, system vulnerabilities can compromise the elections. The impunity of the officers of the Electoral Commission can compromise the outcome of the elections. The worst we should all be fearing is that if such compromises do not produce a true reflection of the will of the people. Can you imagine that on 7th December, you go to your polling station.
Yeah.
And the records are there to show that over the years, anytime the electoral register is exhibited for inspection, only about 40% of Ghanaians go to the sentence to verify their
names.
Can you imagine you go to on the 7th December, you go to Fantiako Saf with your card in hand, and you are told that, oh, your vote is not here, when you have not put in an application. Can you imagine the confusion that will bedevil the elections if across the country many people go and not find their names? Simply what we are saying is that there must be a system audit. And that system audit, it has happened before. It happened in 2012, it happened in 2016. Let's do a system audit. And indeed, the NDC has demonstrated to the Electoral Commission that this register has imperfections. That this register cannot be credible. That many people have had their names removed. Indeed, when they supplied the register 24 hours to the exhibition of the register, little did they expect that the NDC would run through the register against the compilations we had done across the regions and the previous register. When we did, we discovered that thousands of people's names were transferred.
Yeah.
Some were missing. I mean, the register clearly had difficulties. We've got 3 months to elections. And that's why I don't understand Jane Mensah. 3 months to elections. We know what a disputed election can do to a country. We know. Because we've read about other places. Get us in the electoral way, our development partners are prepared for their investment in Ghana to support the process to have a clean register. What is at all difficult in doing that? Doesn't the Electoral Commission, Jen Mensah and Bosman, and all the others, apparatchiks, MPP apparatchiks who are they not interested in the unity, cohesion, and stability of this country?
And trust.
And the trust deficit is their own creation. It's their own creation, exacerbated by the appointments made by Nana Akufo-Addo. We cannot be blamed for the trust deficit. All of us know that Afarijan was the longest serving electoral commissioner. He had difficulties. But all of us are united in our admiration of the way he handled those difficulties and challenges that confronted him when he was in office. That is why people have even said that you walk to the market and you may chance Afarijan walking with a bag in hand shopping, because he feels he served the country to the best of his ability. He fears nobody. Afarijan is not walking around Ghana with soldiers as his protectors, not police, soldiers. So if they are listening to us, it is not Omani. It's not Omani. This is the party. The party that has clearly shown that the half of this country by the 2020 elections are with them. Omani is representing the 5 million people who voted the NDC. Omani is representing the more than about 90% of Ghanaians who have said that this country is moving in the wrong direction and we need a change. Omani feels, and the party feels, that we cannot manifest the change and the people will be denied their sovereign right to determine who leads them if we don't ensure that we have a credible register. Tell me what at all is difficult in this call. What at all is difficult? Because it is not the electoral commissioner who is going to provide money for the audit. There is no evidence that the audit will interfere with the electoral timetable. Indeed, there is abundant evidence that if the audit is carried out in a transparent, open, fair manner, it will galvanize the country behind the Electoral Commission and restore some level of trust and respectability to the way they do their things.
Okay.
Why would they not want to do that?
Annie, you see.
Okay. Have you landed?
Yes,
well,
yes.
I think that he's itching to speak. I will leave that.
Annie, you see, I think that my friend Kojo Chumbuafo was going a tangent that for me I find distasteful. I have never questioned Omani Boamo's intellect. That was not what I was saying. You see, you remember the famous case of the Muntie 3. And I mentioned Mr. Sky, but it was actually Abu Ramadan who took the issue which had electoral
Oh, so
connotation.
that's how come you mentioned Richard. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that it went all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court made a determination. And you had 3 NDC members, some journalists, some who are even today national officers, going to sit on radio to make contemptuous allegations, to even threaten to kill these judges who made that provision.
You didn't have to repeat.
No, but you see, that is why I'm saying that when you sometimes when you do that, you go on. No, but let me finish. But let me finish. But you see, but that is coming from the NDC.
So hold on.
And that's my position.
Eric, hold on.
To the point that even when that determination was made, there were vigils.
Let me ask you.
You know, and so your politicians,
when the NPP asked for,
I don't have
when
a
the
problem
NPP
with
asked
that.
for
In principle,
opaque ballot boxes to be
changed
to ballot boxes,
that should
was
tell
it
you,
a perfect political party
but
at the time?
that should tell you where we are coming from, the kind of
people. I'm asking you this question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where Montier 3 comes in this situation. What's the point you're trying to make?
I'm trying to draw your attention to the kind of people that we are dealing with.
Because of Montier 3,
no,
they can't ask.
No, but I'm telling you that we are dealing with a bunch of people who have absolutely no principle.
So no.
I'm telling you, and because the subject.
I'm part of the people. And you can't say that we have no principle.
No, but you see,
if we have no principle, we will not agree to the MPP asking for transparent, opaque ballot boxes. So you mean we have no principle? Senior. It's not a simple principle we are following.
Senior. That's what I'm saying. That we can agree. We can agree on the list of things that you have enumerated and say, okay, we have issues with this, we have issues with that, issues to that, right? And I have maintained consistently that I will not sit here and try to speak for the Electoral Commission, because if there's an anomaly in a register, how would it be that I might not even be the one that is affected, where I would drive all the way to Abompe and on election day my name is on the register? So I'm not one of those people who can't.
So what's your problem with them raising the concerns?
My problem is that
it's because my problem raised it.
No,
that is coming from unprincipled people.
You know, but it's because you see, these positions that they are taking today,
yes,
are positions that they were vehemently against in 2015, even in an event where the issues went all the way to the Supreme Court. Wasn't Abu Ramadan doing what constitutionally he had the right to do? He was doing the same. He went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court made a determination, and their own people were determining, were threatening to kill the judge.
Okay, so let him land. If that's the intervention you wanted to make, let him land.
I'm just saying that the question we have asked ourselves, is the Electoral Commission presently constituted, capable of self-correction?
Do you know someone who's making a difference in your community? Someone whose selfless actions and dedication to helping others deserves recognition? Then it's time to celebrate these incredible individuals on MTN Heroes of Change.
It's time to nominate those selfless individuals to win 100,000 Ghana cedis and other cash prizes and be crowned MTN Hero of Change. You can also nominate a blogger or someone in the digital space and any of the media houses to win our new category of Digital Hero and Media Hero of Change. Just fill an online nomination form at mtn.com.gh or send a WhatsApp with a 1-minute video of your nominee's project on 055-141-1122. Deadline for nominations is 18th October 2024, so don't waste time. Nominate your hero now.
MTN Heroes of Change. Be the change you wish to see.
Choose the perfect prize every week and stand to win your choice of exciting prizes. All to get more of what matters to you. Exclusive to Betway. Betway, get way more. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18.
Ama. Nansi mi jeno wo bin enko ye kwao. Ama ma ye bohu se kontomra akija.
Nansi me hu se me nyo basi makura. Ama me kunu ni me into kwankwa. Oh you right. And you will go. Give us JC lecture and any capsules. Ah ye num boom. And wasam na mo kana. E bua emma ene meme nyina. Na ma wo ba ye obesima. Na be ma so aye be masima. Ya we be bua wuku ama ne giant sa wo de hye ne botum na wanyinya na ne ntisese ne oyi chokmo. GC mixture and capsule.
A painful about one more menu for one and Quada when you feel to me.
The luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere.
8K. Hey, you get an 8K. Get a packing from your one line. Hey, wait.
You go put it on his tab. This is my man.
Good luck. Hey, we'll ready. We are star 712. your phone, I'm on dialing the magic numbers. *712#. Now welcome to the luckiest. Aha, and now with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved one.
Mommy, don't mommy who's here.
You're buying for me, right?
Or who else?
Oh.
Let me choose buy tickets for others.
Love you, boo boo.
Maybe straight to option 4. Now you need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or preferred tickets. I'm choosing random ticket. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5.
Baby, give me your 5 numbers.
And how much are we buying?
Babe, look at the body and buy you.
With your body,
Hey,
there are. Tread cautiously. Now follow the prompts and confirm. Now the luckiest.
The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. T&Cs apply.
Welcome back to the program. I'm still with Eric Amakuchum and also former Minister Yunusa for saying it. But this says that Annie, remind Eric of Let My Vote Count demonstrators and demands. Hypocrisy is a question. It's coming from Larry Dogbe. He says that they demanded a new register and got it. And even after that, sacked Charlotte Osei. I am part of the bunch that has no principles, but yet I am Eric Chum's friend. Remember the saying, show me your friend, and
What's this country?
I was waiting to come back from the break and read a message. Ambassador Sampiale says that, Eric, you are so blindfolded by partisan politics that you equate the senior staff common room of University of Ghana as a mere beer bar. Can't cry our beloved country. Eric, how can a person like you be so abusive of the NDC this morning? Where was Omani Boama dismissed from GIPC, like you say? Like you. Oh, that's what you wanted to say. Okay, that's some club back, I think, but he thinks you're being too abusive of the NDC, and that's not fair. Let me let you land. Just 2 minutes to land, and yes.
Can EC self-correct? No, because
can EC self-correct?
Yes, because in the sense that they have got a register, they compile a register. Their officers have done things that clearly are not funny. Can they self-correct the register? We say no. Why? Because of their obstinate positions they have taken in the past.
And their own involvement.
And their intransigence. Okay, so you need a neutral third party to do that. What do we seek to achieve? We seek to achieve an open, transparent, reliable register, accurate register. We're not saying that all those people on the register are going to vote NDC, but we're saying that for the credibility of our elections 2024, let's have an open, transparent, reliable and accurate register so that everybody can relate to the register. I mean, today, Eric, I don't know, but do you know the number of voters on the register? We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. The Electoral Commission even doesn't know. They give you different numbers. When we engage them, they give us different numbers. And it's boring. And you see, you know why a register is credible? Not even only for national elections. Even in Wale, a register caused a problem. Even in Metro TV, before you can, uphold an election, trust the outcome of an election held in Metro TV, you must have a register. A register is sine qua non to the viability and acceptability of the outcome.
And believability.
And believability of the election. So I don't know why we are putting this thing. It becomes, if you want, the central axis of our democracy. Credible register, People go there, find their names. Nobody is hard done by. They vote. That is why our motto is freedom and justice. So freedom to choose who you want. He's talked about gerrymandering. Why is he talking about it? Because he thinks that some people ought not to have voted in another constituency, but the way the constituency was carved, so you should be worried about those things.
Yeah, but that's fine. It's a principle. Yeah, it's a principle matter.
We can be united on that.
Exactly.
Then let's have a clean register. Let us all. And this is a difficult, Eric. It's a difficult.
What's the difficulty with forensic audits?
What is the difficulty?
No, that's not. You see, I think that maybe also taking my comments on a different out of context. I'm saying that if we, for example, like he enumerated earlier, in terms of the calls for a voters register, transparent ballot boards, all of these things, which are reforms that were championed by the New Patriotic Party, we will never be against anybody calling for the right thing to be done if they feel that these things have happened. The principal conversation is where you have persons who are attacking the Electoral Commissioner, even not the Commission, because the Commissioner is just there as at the head, but you have a Commission that has a constitutional mandate, right? And if we all agree as stakeholders that this is what we expect of an Electoral Commission, and we agree on that principle, then it's fine. It is not when you are in opposition, you adopt a different, if you like, orientation towards the Commission. When you're in government, you do so. I will not sit here and countenance anything that even the MPP as a political party would do to undermine the Electoral Commission. Because you see, you know the ironic aspect of this conversation. Even in the face of criticisms of the Electoral Commission and everything, when the NDC is doing its internal processes, by dint of what the Constitution actually prescribes, they have to fall on the same Electoral Commission to supervise their elections. So is that the case that when the Electoral Commission supervised the election that made former John Mahama the flag bearer of the NDC, it was a flawed process? Of course not. And so when you have specific issues, listen.
Like human beings, no institution is perfect.
But that is
if you are working towards perfection,
that is my
you must
point.
be prepared to accept.
I think you're saying the same thing, right? And so for me, I feel that even in a bigger scheme of things, right, you want to allow the Ghanaian people and the electorate to have confidence in an institution, especially as a political elite.
Do you agree
right?
that?
Because you see, if you don't do that, what you're trying to do is that you're creating room for people to feel that there's other ways, there are other methods for them to air their grievances or for them to express their views on direction of how this country should go. And that is why I have a challenge with. That's
you know the house help that stole Cecilia Dapa's money?
I don't know.
Should you see this person, see her face, and someone brings her to you, that I want this lady to, maybe Cecilia Dapa has sacked her, so I want you to employ her in your house. Will you do that?
I mean, I don't know what.
Will you or will you not?
I don't know what that means.
Will you? Or
I don't know how it actually.
It's a simple scenario. It's a question. Will you? Or
I don't know.
If you see the person, you know the person, you've been able to identify the person, and someone brings a person to you, I want this person to live with you because she doesn't have any work to do. Will you employ her?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't.
I'm asking this question in relation to Sal. Yeah. This EC is one of the most favored EC.
Yes.
In the whole of the history of this country.
The whole of the world.
But, Annie, you see, again, it may be...
If you have an EC that committed such
a rigorous offense,
such an offense to a people, if I want to borrow Afarijan's words, that was treasonous. Because that's also depriving the rights of the people.
You see.
So hold on. So you have an EC that carried out this. For 4 years, we have been patient with the EC. Everything. So a political party that comes with also masses, has such a large followership, and is raising concerns, what is wrong with it?
Okay, so I'll state categorically. Maybe this is the...
The EC has a history of very grievous offenses.
Annie,
so people have reasons to suspect.
Annie, this is about the 10th time I have expressed my views on SAL. And Randy was in the seat maybe 9 times out of that period. And I have never felt that there's a need for me to even defend the EC on the SAL matter, because it's a matter of principle and fundamental. I have said it. You know me very well. And so it is not about, that's what I'm saying. I'm not here to defend the Electoral Commission. All that I'm saying is that if people have been disenfranchised, it was wrong from the onset. It is wrong today. As we speak, the the issue has been resolved by adding a new constituency to the matter. I even felt that we could have gone even further to have some kind of representation, either, I don't know how, by convention for the people, so that their concerns and everything would be probably handled by another member of parliament in a nearby constituency or not. I don't know what the provision would have been. But I am particularly, I have that conviction that was wrong from the onset. You understand what I'm saying? It is about the collective and the wholesome arguments. Okay. How do you, like you said, you don't have 100% perfection, right? But you work towards that, right? How do you, now with 3 months to the election, have a situation whereby people are creating an impression that if the election does not go their way, it means that... No, let me finish.
We have not created that impression.
Right. It means that something untoward had happened. And I'm saying that when you quoted Afarijan, the same Afarijan is also on record to have said that, listen, in the final analysis, it is what pertains at the polling station that really matters.
And that's why they're trying to clean the polling station.
Then I don't have a problem with that process.
And you know why
some of these things
is like that.
Yeah.
And honestly, Eric, honestly, you see, when people like you and in MPP fail to see the errors in the register and go out of their way to try to justify by equalization, it creates a perception in the minds of the people that the major beneficiaries of that errors that have been discovered is the MPP, and that's why they're defending it.
And individually, we were talking about ballot box snatching earlier on.
Yes.
These are the factors that feeds into that kind of behavior, because we know that people are passionately associated with political parties. The moment they begin to have these trusts, you are creating you are nurturing the grounds for misbehavior. We saw people die in elections 2020.
That's why I'm so worried.
If there are problems, let's all agree to just,
I think we're all saying the same thing.
Okay. If we're all saying the same thing, let's move on to Galamsey.
Okay.
We're all saying the same thing. So we move on to Galamsey.
And it's 10:26.
Yes, I know. I'll hold you for a bit. Peasant Farmers Association warns of looming food crisis. So Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, PFAG, has issued a stark warning of an impending generational food and nutrition crisis, of drastic measures not taken to combat illegal mining, commonly known as Galamsey. Ban Galamsey until sustainable solutions are found. This is the Christian Council talking. Also, so the statement on the screen is the Peasant Farmers warning, isn't it? A generation. Okay, that's it. That's the Peasant Farmers and their statement. But this one from the Christian Council, it says the Christian Council of Ghana has added its voice to the increasing calls for a decisive and total ban on illegal mining activities, commonly referred to as Galamsey. The call of religious body comes to at a time when the detrimental effects of Galamsey mining on the environment, local communities, and the nation's future have reached critical levels, prompting various stakeholders to demand immediate and far-reaching action to be taken against the practice. Occupy Ghana says Occupy Ghana has once again demanded urgent government action to halt illegal gold mining known as Galamsey in Ghana. Since 2016, the group has persistently called on the government to address the environmental, public health and food security threats posed by Galamsey. Primpark says the private newspaper and online news Publication Association of Ghana, PRIMPAC, has issued a strong condemnation of ongoing illegal mining activities, commonly known as Galamsey, and are causing rampant destruction of Ghana's water bodies, forests, and overall environment. And you know, like the 2-4 sets the pace to disassociate his royalty and the royal household from the illegal activity. The association described the environment devastation caused by Galamsey, driven by green and monetary gain, as grave threat to the nation's well-being and the future. In a statement issued by the National Secretary of the Tuesday, September 10, 2024, PRIMPAC called on its members to join the nation crusade against Galamsey, warning a failure addressed to this menace could lead to disaster. The association urged its members to take a firm, objective stance against the practice as part of the collective effort to protect the survival in communities and preserve Ghana's natural resources. As part of the commitment, PRIMPAC encouraged its members to expose individuals and groups involved in these illegal activities. It urged members to punish and the names and pictures, public names and pictures of those implicated in Galamsey on the front pages of their newspapers and websites, thereby holding the culprits accountable to the public. Galamsey, Reverend Fayose says that the General Secretary of the Christian Council of Ghana, Reverend Cyril Fayose, has called for the public naming, shaming, and prosecution of critically exposed persons involved in Galamsey. Now, finally on UTAC, I have more, but UTAC says that the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST chapter, University of Ghana, has called for civil disobedience as a means to combat illegal mining, commonly referred to as Galamsey. The chapter president, Professor Eric Abavari, expressed concern over the poor enforcement of laws governing the mining sector. He suggested that civil disobedience might be the only way to hold government accountable. This call, quote, "This call for me is not even about banning, but I truly call for civil disobedience," he said. Civil disobedience involves the active and public refusal of citizens to obey certain laws, demand orders, or commands of government. So that is a civil disobedience they are actually going to call for. That is from KNUST UTAC. Former Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Eunice Husseini.
Well, Edmund Burke, the philosopher, once said that these situations, the situation in which we are, over Galamsey, are difficult, or particularly in our case, the Galamsey situation is a difficult situation to speak about, but impossible to keep quiet and keep silent on it. Why is it difficult? What is the purpose of government? Why have we elected unto ourselves a government? Is it not to help us order our affairs in such a way that we can create prosperity and equality of opportunities for all of us? That we can ensure that there's intergenerational equity, that me and you who are presently on the planet do not act in a way as to compromise and jeopardize the ability of future generations to live on the environment. That's all government is about. We want that the way government was going about the fight on illegal mining was definitely going to fail. In fact, the failure was at best. And that is manifested in the report of Professor Frimpong Boateng. Annie, how do you justify that from 2017, and I was Minister for Lands and Natural Resources from 2013 to June 2014. In 2017, this government decided that they were going to place a total ban, not on Galamsey, illegal mining, but on small-scale mining. we warned that what they were doing was creating a disincentive for law-abiding citizens of this country who had decided to take opportunity of the laws available to ask for concessions. And they were lumping people who had followed the law with people who had disobeyed the law. And that was a sure bet to disaster. They refused to listen. And 2017 to 2018 end 2018, when the ban was in place, Ghana exported the highest amount of gold from the small-scale mining sector. The question is, how did it happen? Clearly, people who were associated with this government, and again confirmed by the report of Frimpong Boateng, were actively despoiling our environment, polluting our water bodies, cutting down our cocoa trees. And they were doing that with impunity because no one could hold them accountable. The president said he was putting his presidency on the line. We told him that that was grandstanding. Because you don't put your presidency on the line and do not put in place institutional mechanisms to ensure that Galamsey stops, illegal mining stops.
Did he not?
He did not. What he did was sending, they said Galam stop, sending soldiers.
Tax forces?
Tax forces. No, that is not the way to stop Galamsey.
And
we told him that when he organized, after his first failure, he organized another conference to restart the fight. We told him in his face that his strategy will not work. You've got DCs, you've got police commanders, you've got BNI officers in every district in this country. Honey, is the president realistically telling me that his DCs, his police commanders, his BNI officers in the various districts where mining takes place, where they are spoiling our water bodies, do not know those who are mining? Is that what the president wants us to believe?
Or you mean they are not involved in the mining?
Or they are not involved in the mining? Is that what the president wants me to believe? Or wants Ghanaians to believe? So clearly, and the destruction of Kate Jamfo's excavators should tell you what was happening. Or the report of Frimpong Boateng and the naming of Niteko and Co. should tell you what was happening. That mining close to the house of the president. The president could not do anything to convince us that, well, nothing was happening than sending journalists.
To the house?
But to the house. But they had named. The report names the persons who were involved in that.
So you didn't believe the video that came out that was not a house? That the president's house is not engaged in Galamsey, or it's not being used for Galamsey?
The man did not say the president's house was engaged in Galamsey. He said Galamsey was taking place close to
at
the
the backyard of the president. Okay.
And he named.
Okay.
All the president could do was to gather journalists in the vehicle and send to TB to say that nothing was happening. What about the person who was named? What about the person who gave the report, who was also named in the report? Look, we are facing an existential threat. And I was highly disappointed. In fact, I was embarrassed when the chief whip of the majority in parliament sought to equalize this crisis in which we are by apportioning blame. In 2013, when I started the Galamsey, many MPs did not appreciate the danger in which we were. And I remember there's a current minister who took me on. He was the ranking member of mines. And I went to solicit their support to engage the illegal miners. He clearly did not see it. I told him then that we were experiencing a social phenomenon, that we needed drastic action to be able to deal with it. He asked for a suspension of the meeting and engaged me before we went back. That was when he was convinced, because he thought when I was talking about Galamsey, I was talking about what their predecessors, I mean, our ancestors used to do. Just go with pickaxe, pans to the riverside, collect sand.
Collect and sell.
No, we're moved beyond that. But moved beyond that. Look.
So at the time that you were minister, you were trying to organize a national approach. By engaging
everybody
persons
and warning people who were engaged in Galamsey, who were close to government, that they will be arrested. I remember we went to Chichewure, and that is where when I saw 15 or when they said 15 or 20 champagnes were destroyed on the River Ofin, and that was all. I said, well, you have missed the plot. When I went to Chichewure, is around Dunko on Ofin. Two things. The Queen Mother told me, in the presence of the then National Security Coordinator, that he doesn't know how we, the present generations, are feeling. The problem, our ancestors were more wiser than us. That our ancestors knew that there was gold in the water bodies. But they never entered the water to look for the gold. Because they knew that our lives depend on the water. Not only for sustenance, for drinking, but also to water the crops and vegetation and provide the fishes. They knew. But today,
why they established some of these taboos?
They established taboos about entering waters, about rivers, and gave them gods. Today, even the whole idea of our ancestors is catching up. That rivers and natural bodies are now seen as humans.
They are indeed gods.
They are indeed gods because they deserve respect. You can't go and treat a river body with impunity. But the MPP doesn't see that. I'm telling you, they don't see that. They don't see that. That is why when they said they were banning Galamsey, in fact, they were just flipping. It was a flip. They were flipping over. Those who were engaged in small-scale mining, they thought were largely NDC. And then they tell me and many people that Nana Akufo-Addo suffered in 2020 elections because he fought Galamsey. No! When the people in the Galamsey sides saw that they were being prevented from mining and government officials from DCE to down were mining, they said, look, we must take these people a lesson. We must get them out. He only survived by the Electoral Commission. Nana Akufo-Addo survived the 2020 elections by the Electoral Commission.
How? You're saying that the Electoral Commission engaged in...
They changed the results 5 times. Or you don't know that? You don't know that?
Yeah, I know that.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean...
Yes, so he survived.
But that doesn't mean that...
So he survived by the Electoral Commission. He survived. I'm telling you, he survived by the Electoral Commission. The people did not say that they were punishing him because he was fighting Galamsey. They were punishing him because he was not fair, he was not honest in his approach, and clearly he dealt himself a very bad blow, damaging blow, by his persona, the way he went about it.
So how do you justify the way you went about it? Because there's been many times that where they've made references to your former communications officer or director, officer. I always forget his name. Where he was also seen at Galamsey sites telling the people that when we come, we are going to allow you to mine. I mean, that video, they've made references to...
They've made references to that, but that is different.
How different is that?
No one is saying, apart from now, I'm hearing calls from UTAC, from Catholic Secretariat, let's just ban it. What we're saying is that there is a regime, a comprehensive Act 703. There's a whole comprehensive section, comprehensive, dealing with small-scale mining. So, an NDC government will encourage people to take advantage of the law. Because you see, when you register a person to do small-scale mining, he comes under the radar. Because we have got district mining officers who will ensure that that person mines in accordance with the law. In fact, the founding member of the Takwa University of Mines was contacted to develop a blueprint on how small-scale miners must mine in view of the topography of areas where mining takes place. And so, it's different. It's different when you justify why you should give Etiwa You know Etiwa?
Yeah.
Etiwa has been designated as a globally significant biodiversity area. Globally significant.
I'm told it's a source of a lot of the major rivers.
The Repra and all those are taking their source from that place. If you do natural resource accounting, you will not give out Etiwa for anything. Because the money, what we get from Etiwa is more than what Sana Hydro gives us. Oh. People, families have educated their children on Etiwa or just relying on collecting snails from Etiwa. So if a government leaves the impunity, what do you expect ordinary citizens to do? Government, when that woman, what was his name? Aisha,
yeah,
was arrested. You saw the justification of Osafo.
What was the justification? There was no justification.
There was justification.
That's
for the benefits that we're going to get in China. We're not going to prosecute her. We're going to.
So send her back. Okay.
But in the face, that's the impunity. Another impunity. The law says, Act 703 says that foreigners should not engage in small-scale mining. When a foreigner is caught, arrested, dealing in small-scale mining, that foreigner will have to go through trial, and if convicted, serve the sentence here. And after serving the sentence, that foreigner will be deported. That's what the law says. We put economic benefits over the destruction of the environment. Again, impunity, which fed into the general understanding of the people about government's approach to dealing with the insanities in the small-scale mining sector. I'll give you another example. The small-scale mining sector law says there's a comprehensive regime. There's a comprehensive legal regime dealing with seized equipment on Galamsey sites. Comprehensive.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. What was the approach of the Nanakufado in fighting Galamsey?
Burning of excavators.
There's nowhere. And when I live here,
so there's a comprehensive
regime
seized equipment from Galamsey
sites.
Okay.
It's impunity again, fed into the way we perceive government action. Then even those which were seized, were not burned, were seized. They found their way back to the Galamsey side because of petty partisan political interests. Party Pesica. So you see where we are.
But the question I want to ask is, during your regime, whatever measures you put in to fight the menace, what were your successes?
Well, so first, there were 4. And I've made it available. In fact, in my hand notes and in meetings that I've attended to deal with this. Because I was a minister, but I never was interested in mining or Galamsey or possessing anything. No. Look, we left the hand over nose. The Galamsey is driven. Illegal mining is driven by about 4 things.
Unemployment, definitely.
Unemployment. That's the first thing. So what do? You provide an avenue for people who want to mine to go there and mine.
Responsibly.
So why are you saying responsibly? Because you have officers who will supervise the way they mine. And again, under Act 703, the only way a small-scale miner's license can be revoked is when that fellow mines in contravention of the terms and conditions in the license.
Of the concession given to you.
So, you see why it's important to register.
Okay.
Now, 2, equipment. What equipment is permissible?
Okay.
What equipment is permissible? So we said, look, establish a plant pool. The Minerals Commission. Establish a plant pool. Get them or encourage individuals to establish plant pools and get them to service the small-scale miners. Because they themselves will not share the responsibility for protecting the environment with the small-scale miners.
Wow.
3, there is no land.
So that no private person will on their own
just go and just start digging.
Just go and bring in equipment. Okay.
Start digging. 3, no land. There is no land in this country that is not owned by somebody. There's no land. So you can't discount the role of chiefs. And I've met the chief, the late Professor Hene, and wherever he is, I said, may he rest in peace. When I met the chiefs, he said, look, my place, you can't do illegal small-scale mining. In Offenso, we don't do illegal small-scale mining. Because it is we, the chiefs, who tolerate it. Because we have the land. Even when there's gold in the land, and then government wants to extract the gold because of the provisions in Article 257 of the Constitution, government has to pay us surface rights.
Royalties.
And royalties. So, if I say no, no. So you see, now Ashanti Hina has taken it and has demonstrated that chiefs can be sanctioned. And we saw people went and did cocoa farms. Chiefs gave land. And then they destroyed those cocoa farms. The cocoa farmers have no recourse. So you need the stakeholders, and particularly the chiefs, because they own the land. 4, you need a funding regime. If small-scale miners go to people, individuals, so those who are on the sides, they are not the owners of the pits. They are not the owners of the pits. They are working for people. And those people go to contract monies. Some from people, I tell you that when I was there, when we traced the route of gold exports, it went at majority ended in Dubai. Majority of our gold ended in Dubai, and some in India. So if you watch, at that time, the escalation of small-scale mining in Ghana, it followed the prices of gold, and particularly gold in India. So people were funding them. So, and because they were funded, if they take the money, they begin calculating interest. So the people will go onto the site, because if the application is delaying, then their interest is piling up. The interest they pay on the loan. So that's why even now in the NDC manifesto, you are talking about one-stop shop. Because delay will push the people onto the sites. 2, no money pushes the people to the money lenders. And you have a problem. So we're dealing comprehensively. But the first thing was to use law and order. The law says no foreigner can engage in small-scale mining. So you see that when we started the fight, more than 5,000 Chinese were deported. Why? They thought we couldn't do it. Got numerous engagements with the Chinese ambassador. They thought we couldn't do it. And John Dramani Mahama, I salute you. They went to him. He said, go back to the minister.
Oh, really?
Yes. They went to him. I mean, including Ghanaian big men. He said, no, go back to the minister. So there was a general agreement that anybody, and I told immigration, we also saw that the people who come and land in Togo here and come into this country, and at our border, the immigration officers will, that one, I think they will keep it for another day. There is somebody presently in the immigration service. He was interdicted. He was interdicted. They give them visas, and sometimes permanent residents to come into this country. So we told them that if they didn't clean their staples, we will clean it for them. Because you see, Annie, it's not because I was minister. To whom much is given, expected.
All right.
Our forefathers saved this land for us, provided us the means to sustain ourselves. Did not destroy the land. They didn't have the benefit of going to school.
Okay, I want to engage Eric, but maybe a quick one. Former President Mahama said, if we, on the front page of one of the papers, that if we put a total ban on general mining activities, it may affect our revenue generation. What did he mean by that? Is this something that he's also concerned? Because having been in the office as president, I'm sure he appreciates revenue generation and how to balance the equation.
What basically he's saying is that he's segregating illegal small-scale mining and answering to those who are calling for a general ban. Illegal activities from those who are doing it legally, and putting the responsibility of ensuring those who will do it legally on the Minerals Commission. That's what it's simply saying.
But under the current situation, is it not fair to just put a total ban?
That's a lazy way to approach
until
an issue.
You reset everything.
You see, we have the stick and the carrot method of doing things. Okay? In any jurisdiction at all, in any group of people, even at your workplace here, we've got a regime of incentives.
Okay.
Now, so if somebody is prepared to work according to the terms of his engagement or her engagement, that person should be incentivized.
Okay. Okay.
So somebody is prepared to do the right thing. You don't treat that person as a criminal.
Okay. Okay. All right.
You don't do that. And that is exactly how the party is thinking. Now, so the second attempt one day, when I was talking about Aisha 1, so it was an egregious offense to arrest Aisha 1, deport her without letting her go through trial, and then subject Ghanaians who could not be deported, to prosecution.
To prison.
To prison. What is the fairness? What is fairness? Okay. Fairness.
And that's what called for President Mohammed's comments.
Yes,
about
fairness.
Releasing them when he
fairness. Equity is fairness.
Okay.
You deal with people equally circumstanced must be dealt with equally.
Okay.
And when we refused to do that in Tanzania, they arrested. It was reported widely. They arrested somebody who was similarly engaged in illegal mining. They subjected that person to trial in Tanzania. Punished and imprisoned that person.
A Ghanaian.
I don't know. I think it was a Chinese.
Oh, okay. Foreigner in Tanzania.
A foreigner. Okay. So you see, for what Galamsey is doing to us, all of us know. That's why I didn't start from that basis. Our lifeline, cocoa, has been threatened. You know, the European Union has written to Ghana that there are sanitary and phytosanitary matters
in the cocoa.
It might ban the cocoa.
Yeah.
You know, in the Galamsey areas, babies are being born with deformities and they are on the increase. You know, we have refused, failed, or neglected to sign the Minamata Convention that bans mercury on our small-scale mining sites.
Okay.
And clearly, mercury is a hard substance that lodges in the body and causes serious destruction. You know, Obuasi Anka, when I was growing up, the most favorite Anka was Obuasi Anka. Say what name?
Obuasi Anka?
Yes.
I never heard of it.
Oh, you have never heard? Oh, then you are relatively young. Obuasi Anka, it was nice. But today, there's no Anka.
You can't try it.
No one goes there.
There's none to try.
None to try. And even if it is there, it's dangerous because the hard metals move, the trees suck the hard metals and they lodge in the Anka. Okay. So this example should tell you that you don't, if you are ensconced in Accra or the major cities, don't think that you are not being affected.
Right. Let me involve Eric.
Annie.
That's a lot said by the sector minister at the time.
You've turned this from Good Morning Ghana to Good Afternoon Ghana. You're supposed to have.
I'm sorry.
Right?
I'm sorry. Because of the national situation, I wanted to appreciate how he tackled it when he was in office.
I'm not protesting, but I just also hope that you give me an opportunity to address some of the things that he said. First off, I feel that, this whole conversation around the Electoral Commission is also problematic. Honorable sitting here now is claiming that basically if it wasn't because of the Electoral Commission, President Akufo-Addo would not have been made victorious, and almost insinuating that the EC stole the elections for. You see, when you do that, for me, I believe that those things are things that we should be able to eschew when it comes to this particular discourse. Otherwise, then it delves into all sorts of things that are not.
But Akufo-Addo is almost finished.
But you know that you went to court, and when you went to court, and your general secretary at the time, now national chairman, was asked to come and
make his case.
He took a big calculator, the one that my mom takes to Kantamanto there, and he couldn't do anything. It actually turns out that when he was actually campaigning to become national chairman, he went and told your party faithfuls that it was all an exercise in futility, which even is reprehensible to say the least. You know, and when you do these things which are on public record, and now you have a senior member of the NDC sitting on a platform like this saying these things. I mean, you know, it's almost trying to get me to. No, but let me finish.
She said no.
Let me finish.
So why would you lose an opportunity
but you see,
let the people?
But that is why. You see, that's why today. I mean, and people are claiming I'm being hard on the NDC and all that. I'm usually not. But you know, when these inconsistent, these things, right? Sitting here, I will not ignore these things. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, I think that's also right for you to have given him the first bite because, I mean, if for nothing at all, he has been a minister in the sector. And he would probably understand the issues better than I have. But even in all his submission, he admitted that this phenomenon of Galamsey didn't start today. And he even has gone ahead and stated the kind of things that he believes that should be done. And yet, it hasn't been successful. And of course, even in his submissions, he spoke about the need for that stakeholder collaboration, right? Where I have mentioned, I think last week, I even mentioned the issue of, even within my own area, I mean, we have challenges with Galamsey. And I have stated that there are places where the chiefs have been very resolute in their defiance that nobody will come and do illegal mining there. And nobody is doing illegal mining there, right? So nobody is taking away government's responsibility in terms of enforcing the laws and making sure that, especially in areas around our water bodies and everything, nobody does these things. But it's gotten to a point where, if you look at all the advocacies from all the major interest groups and organizations that you've read, it's very clear that the approach has to change. And it has become almost like a public advocacy against illegal mining. I have heard persons who are supposed to be concerned members of small-scale miners also pushing back, saying that, well, those who are calling for a total ban and all of that, people have expressed disquiet when it comes to those things. Which means that we all have to go back to the drawing board and find a lasting solution to this menace. Because if conversation around mercury, food, and all of those things, medical conditions that are coming as a result of these things, are things that we cannot ignore, right? And like I said, and I say all the time, and it's becoming repetitive. I grew up in a place where, come from a place where we pride ourselves with a river that passes through almost every part of Achemland, right? And we say it with pride, Achemkwa, Onumbrim, and you know that. You know, so I'll not sit here. I mean, for me, I'm very consistent when it comes to this. I'll not sit here and say that if anybody does anything, either legal or illegally, that affects the river bodies, should actually be allowed to go scot-free, or we should countenance that kind of behavior, because we all would pay for it, right? Today, and even for the generations yet unborn. But it's very clear that you have to activate the technology that I've always spoken about. And then also the fact that the stakeholder engagement is extremely important so that you'll be able to forestall these challenges. One, this argument about providing alternative livelihood is a brilliant one in theory. But the problem is that how would you find alternative livelihood that will give these persons the same amount of whatever it is that they want? You understand what I'm saying? So the legal regime and the enforcement and the remedy has to be well thought through. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? And so because we're in political season and everything, sometimes people say all of these things just to score cheap political points. And because it's been very, even in all of these conversations, I'm struggling to understand the NDC as political party's position on this thing.
On Galamsey?
On Galamsey.
Oh, it's very
No, but that is what I'm saying. What I'm saying that, you see, we
whether or not they will ban Galamsey.
You know what I'm saying? You have to have
upfrontly
and say that,
let us know
what you will do. You understand? So everybody's skirting around the conversation and saying that, but we have indicated clearly what we will do.
That you
we
ban
have,
Galamsey.
no. Listen, we have indicated clearly what we will do. We have things that we put in place that was meant to have forestalled. Like everybody in this country knows.
Yeah,
that
my point
there
is
was
I've read yours, and I've read theirs as well.
Exactly.
They have some similarities. Yes.
Yeah, but the point is that you need, right, apart from the government, the political will that you require that stakeholder, right, and collective responsibility that is taken by everybody. Consensus. And I made this example. I gave this example. There is absolutely no way that you drive a big truck with excavators and champagne and everything from Accra all the way to, I'll use my village as an example so that nobody gets offended, and get to Osino and take the junction on your right and go and enter a forest in Abombe. And nobody
will say it.
DC, police officers, security people, the people in the village, the chiefs and everything will not realize that where this person is, right, they are not supposed to be there. You cannot say that.
Why do you think that's happening?
No, but that is why I'm saying that it requires. It's become a.
Why do you think it's happening?
It's happening because there are people who are in positions of authority, people who are chiefs and traditional authorities, police, army, what have you, who have a personal benefit from these things. And it's illegal. That's why, you see, sometimes even now the literature has changed. So people are saying that ban Galamsey. Galamsey itself is banned. It's banned. It's illegal.
Yeah.
Right? And so, but
the Christian Council says ban Galamsey.
But the Galamsey itself, it's illegal.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe, even though I understand where the concerned small-scale miners are coming from, because mining itself is not illegal in this country. If you follow a strict regime, and we all appreciate, you understand? So you can't use whatever is happening as a blanket mechanism to stop people who are also out there doing the right. You understand what I'm saying? So it requires, and it's sensitive because, one, if people attribute election to it, people are attributing livelihoods and making all sorts of justifications why this thing should not be done, right? And we've used a certain approach where excavators were banned, people have been arrested, taken to prison and all of that, and all these processes have happened. There was at the point even when Akufo-Addo's administration banned all small-scale mining over a period.
2 years.
You understand what I'm saying? And so for me, I think that, yes, when it comes to some of these conversations, where now all of this, and that is, for me, it's actually progressive, and it's for the very first time, you have people, so if the Christian Council, for example, is making this statement, there's a church in every single village.
Exactly.
Right? And
but they make statements because they have to be seen to be doing
exactly. And
yeah.
I like this because what it means is that our democracy is progressing. Democracy is not the preserve of just politicians, but people who are actually the citizenry and who are part of it. And now this conversation means that it's not stopped short of just a statement, but this thing should be preached in the pulpits and should be preached in the mosques.
In fact, I asked
Reverend
Father was interviewing, and I asked him, when you actually know the people that are involved in Galamsey, yet they come into your churches, sit at the front seat, you collect money from them, what do you think you're doing? It's not just a collective release of statements. Maybe we should see you driving them out of your churches, just in demonstration that we do not support these activities that you're involved in.
And so that you would now go, I think that even the pragmatic approach is that the issues to do with the water bodies should something that should not take us forever to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And
I agree with you entirely.
Exactly. The water bodies.
You go on TV, like I'm sitting with you. Then I display gold bars. And I'm not a miner. Even if I were a miner, we want to know how much tax you have paid on that. How did you get the gold? Everybody should be
able to...
Everybody should be interested in knowing. But when we leave it, it emboldens people to act with impunity.
Right. And so, for me, I think that we've gotten to the point where it's become I mean, people have even ascribed all sorts of national security implications and all of that. And then the reverse is that, what do you do with these people who are already engaged in this activity and all? You understand my point? So I think that we've gotten to the point where it's something of a national interest. We have to all be committed to it, but it requires the collective effort of everybody. Because the whole idea, even when they were doing this operations during the day, the people were going into the forest in the middle of the night, right? And as a country, you don't have infinite resources, right? And so even if you say, oh, you should enforce it, which means by taking the security authorities and everything, you're going to expend all your nation's resources, right, on stopping Galamsey. And there's always a trade-off when it comes to some of these decisions that you want to take. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, I believe that it requires everybody's effort. My efforts, yours. And I mean, the media started this advocacy, I think, a few years ago, and then it caught on to a certain point.
Yeah, but
there was a general ban, and then it's now got into...
When we call for a comprehensive effort, you need a comprehensive effort to succeed, but you need a leader to take that step.
I agree.
So that's why we all look up to leaders who are in charge to be able to lead, and we follow.
I agree entirely. And all I'm saying is that, but you see, the whole concept of leadership is that when you even you have that conviction, you require that it permeates, it percolates down to the people, like a district mining officer, a local enforcement officer, and all of that to ensure that, because there's absolutely no way that you would find out if somebody is doing something in a forest area, for example, if there's no local vigilance.
So do you believe that what the leadership is engaged in is permeating down?
No, but that's what I'm saying, that because it's very clear. I mean, I don't have to play ostrich. It's very clear that we're still having challenges. Do you understand? I remember, like, is it 2-3 years ago where there was before and after pictures of most of the rivers, the Brim, the Pra, and everything. You understand? Where there was, I mean, after the complete ban on the water automatically started clearing up. You understand? So it's there. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that that is not happening.
It won't take so long for the water to clear up.
Yes, and issues are the Ghana water itself has, you understand? But then again, I always come back to even this whole conversation around technology. Why are we not using technology? Because all these excavators, all of these whatever, come through the ports. Right, and so you have to be able to find a way of now saying that, listen, because we don't trust what they actually say it's going to be done, let's track this. It costs $100 or less for a tracker to be put on a machine like that, right? So that at least you will realize that there are certain people who are so adamant and recalcitrant and they want to do that. Then you can go after them. At least then you are making a certain headway. But as far as I'm concerned, there is absolutely no justification for anybody to, one, be mining in and around our water bodies. And it's not something that we should encourage.
It's against the law. The Water Resources Commission, it's against the law. In fact, it's against the law to mine in water bodies.
Mansa Musa from UK says that, Danny, I guess more money will be secured from the contingency fund for disbursement of all peasant farmers, since they are also complaining of lower yields due to natural and man-made events, i.e. climate change and Galamsey. And we need to reset, not upgrade. Thanks for Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa, thank you. Your message is long, but because of time, let me just hang it here. Ani, this was the condition of most of our rivers in Galamsey in 2016.
This
what we have now. No. He's actually sent me a river better, a picture of a clear river in 2016. Before now, some from East Legon. It says that what exactly that Mr. Eric Chum see wrong with the NDC calling for a forensic audit of the voters register. If Dr. Afarijan, Dr. Afarijan, he's accusing of being a PNDC man, agreed to the demands of the MPP to conduct an audit of the register in the past, what makes it wrong for the current NDC to accept? And in your citing him, what were you trying to achieve?
No, I didn't. The person was asked to go and recruit.
Oh, you trying to achieve?
It means they're watching you. They're watching us.
Good morning.
You're very good looking.
Dr. Farijan with an analog system. We had a good electoral process and inter-party consensus. Madam Charlotte say era improved the system, including BVD's introduction with party cohesion. And fast forward, we now have Jim Mensah, who has been at the IEA as a stakeholder, suggests a lot of electoral proposals and highly critique of the then EC. Today, she is in charge with all the digitalization and sophisticated IT system, yet is the worst EC chair in the history of the extent that she couldn't even get her 2020 elections declaration figures once and for all with the current avoidable hitches and cheap mistakes, you say. Okay. This one says, Annie, good morning to you. The principal, in principle, will he be comfortable if the surgeon to operate on his wife is a bitter ex-girlfriend? This is similar to having members of the EC with political colors. All right. Okay, so let's end it here. Katano says that tell Eric that the NDC's internal election will produce credible register, so EC just supervises. In the national elections, we don't have a credible register, and that's the issue. Okay, so we'll pull the brakes here, but we'll be crossing over here on Metro TV to the press center. Okay, it's already started. So let's cross over there. It is about Galamsey, and all of you who are interested, as we are here, let's all listen in. That's the media also pulling its strength and weight behind it. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. And thank you for watching. Let's go cross over to the press center.
You created and gave them to us, that we may use and organize and develop them for us. We have misapplied, misused, abused, monstrous rape.